Owls.
Turn on Night Owls.
to Facebook, where your words tell 1,000 Instagrams. Use your phone for making that call. And get talking across the northeast, please. Because this is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Welcome everybody and welcome to Alan Robson's Night Owls. It is, of course, Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. And I have my Santa hat on. I hope you are suitably dressed. Only 2 more to go before Christmas. Can you possibly believe it? It's true. So what I thought we would do tonight is have a straightforward challenge. And that challenge means, what's the best and worst things about Christmas? Simple as. Want your best thing, want your worst thing. Best thing, of course, being with the people that you love, if you can be. No guarantee of that this year. Worst thing, I suppose, being without them if you can't. But I'm talking stuff here more than anything else. What's the best stuff and the worst stuff? Because there are some pretty damn awful things about it. I saw something that I think kids would love. I was on one of those American channels, and there's this castle you can buy that's like Disney's castle, and you stand 4 princess dollies, so you got to buy the dollies as well, on the top of this castle, and all the time they're spinning around, and every room is for a different princess. Oh. Just imagine a parent who's on a budget looking at that thinking, well, I can afford the castle, but I can't afford the dolls. Ooh, and the furniture. Now what do I do? Because it was always like that, wasn't it? You had to buy a scale extra set, but you needed the cars. Oh yeah. Sabutio, I've got the pitch. Oh, yeah, I need the teams. So things you love and hate about the stuff of Christmas. The best and worst foods at Christmas. The food... Who in the world likes a Christmas pudding? Have you tasted it? It's like somebody's chopped up an old leather bag and put custard on it. And do you remember when you used to have to put silver sixpences or threepences? This will show how old you are. You used to put coins in, and you'd get a scoop and you'd hope for the best that you'd get a coin before you broke a tooth. So the things you love and hate about Christmas. Start texting, tweeting and calling. Give us a ring. We are, in fact, a talk show. So give me a bell. 0191 488 3188. Get yourself on the big one tonight. I already hate this hat that I'm wearing. For those of you that are not on YouTube or Facebook, I have a flashing Santa hat. And it is somewhat annoying. But it's Christmas. You got to do these things. Should all of the pubs and restaurants have stayed open? A member of the Royal Victuallers Association, who's in charge of pubs and restaurants, says that because of the way people behave in shops, having pubs and restaurants open would have made no difference at all to the end result. What do you think? Coronavirus cases in the northeast plummeting. So local politicians are saying if they're plummeting, why are we still in tier 3? What's your view? I'd like that. Half our vegetables, well, here's the thing, half our vegetables and 86% of the fruit we get come through Europe. What if there's no deal? And why do we only grow half the vegetables we need? And why do we only grow 14% of the fruit we need. We do have trees and fields here, you know. Also, relaxing restrictions, all of the newspapers ran with this today. Relaxing restrictions could cause a third wave of infection. Should we scrap Christmas then? Is it worth the health of anybody? But you could argue the reverse and say, if people didn't have something to look forward to, there are large sections of society that would get depressed and would go down, and people's health is affected by what's happening around them, no question about it. 2,500 mothers in the last few months have been forced to give birth to their children without their partner there. I'd just like your view on that. Irrespective of the fact that they could put on masks, they could wear full bodysuits if you wish, why aren't their partners allowed to be there? I really don't get that at all. And also, a big feature in two of the big newspapers today talking about the worst hotels, guest houses, B&Bs that you've ever stayed in. And they quote things like finding poo on the sheets when they peel them back. Oh, that's not good. Condoms knotted and tied to the bed end. Whoa, where was that? And also, getting bitten by bed bugs. I think we've all had them where there's been a spider in the room, or if you're in a foreign place, cockroaches and bugs and what have you. Never been in a place with a condom knotted and tied to the bed. Yet. Could happen. So what's been the worst place you've ended up staying? 0191 488 3188. Tonight we are giving away a copy of Grisly Tales from Northumbria, and also the Night Owls mug. Get to those telephones. Yep, the mug is back in here. And also to the best call, Chris Cross, our local hero magician, has the Geordie Santa. Sent one for me, but we have some for you. If you would like to win the Geordie Santa, just ring the show. If you come on air, all of the names will go in the hat and one will be picked out at the end of the show to be the recipient of Chris Cross is Geordie Santa. So there you go, an extra bonus coming up to Chrissy. Boris has just said on the news there that don't worry, because we have a no-deal Brexit, probably. We'll be the same as Australia, which is awful, because Australia has a horrific relationship with the European Union, and they're paying massive tariffs, putting up to 8 to 10 grand on the cost of a car. Really? What? Nobody's going to buy a British car in Europe if they've got to pay 10 grand over the odds for it. But then again, should bounce back the other way. Leanne Allison there. Say a hello to Big Ray. He's a long-time listener. Hello, Big Ray. And thanks for being with us. Shopping, is it going well? Have you got all your Christmas bits and bobs? Or is there something out there you just can't get your hands on? Also, we can't book holidays in Europe because of the whole Brexit thing. And it may come to the fact, because they say it's 6 months, it probably will be okay. But now they're saying that if there is a problem and we can't get any kind of deal, then maybe... Oh, hang on. Lindsay Old wants... It's her son's birthday on Thursday. Shout out for Ryan Burton. All the best, Ryan. Happy birthday, mate. But it might be flying over Europe you're not able to do either. Because without a deal, you're not allowed to fly over their countries. That could end up putting a fortune cost flying around Europe to any destination we might wish to get to. Hundreds of COVID sufferers say, we obeyed all the rules but caught COVID anyway. So obviously the masks and the social distancing doesn't work. What's your view on that? In America, 3 men calling themselves a throuple, 3 guys living together, having a sexual, naughty, intimate, loving relationship. They've now got 2 children between them. What's your view on thruples? Always kind of fancy the thruple, but not with 2 guys, it has to be said. Also, fat shaming is in the press again. One woman's come forward saying that because I'm large, these haters refuse to accept that I'm happy the way that I am. And she says that no matter where she goes, people say things to her, and maybe they're trying to be kind. Well, oh, you'd be so pretty if you lost a pound or two. Whoa. She's happy. Why can't people live and let live? If people wish to be the size they are, whether it's very skinny or very large, it's up to them, isn't it? Simon Cowell, I know you're aware that he fell off his electric bike. Now he's planning on suing the company, we're hearing. Really? If you fall off a bike, sue the company. It's the American way, isn't it? The police, I mentioned last week that the police have dropped the investigation, or were thinking of dropping the investigation, on the Tory MP who allegedly raped a Commons researcher. Well, they've dropped the case, and the Tory MP's name has been kept secret. Had this been you or I, or anybody who's not an MP with dosh, their name would have been all over the newspapers for about 3 to 6 months. Their name would be blackened and destroyed. But not this guy. Now, innocent until proven guilty. The case has been dropped. That doesn't mean he's innocent, but it doesn't mean he's guilty either. I just have a feeling for victims. He might be one. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's crack on. 500 people went to a free gig in Barcelona. A gig? Love gigs. When will we get our live shows back? What's the best gig you've ever seen? Who was it? Where were you? You've been to a festival. What was the highlight? What's so special about gigs? What gigs set the back of your neck alight with the hair standing up like a punk rock Mohican? Also, Ed sent an email in, got this about 20 minutes before we started the show. Boris promised that he had a deal in place. He repeated this over and over hundreds of times in speeches leading up to the Brexit vote. He obviously lied to us all again, and we fell for it. Where do you stand on that? Dominic Raab says, if it's a no-deal Brexit, the pound will crash, people's pension funds and benefits will need to tumble. They never mentioned any of this previously, did they? And I've had a very unpleasant email, not directed at me, but also directed at the government, from Pauline and Michael. They're from Sunderland, and as soon as they opened a travel corridor to the Canary Islands, they booked a holiday, their first holiday in 7 years. They were able to afford one earlier in the year, but they weren't able to go for obvious reasons. So they opened a corridor and they booked that holiday. It was actually 3 weeks on the Canary Islands. They just got there and they closed the corridor and they've had to come back after 4 days of their dream holiday, their first in 7 years. Does it make a heap of the difference? Really? And being one of those people that, for a business purpose, I had to travel abroad, everybody's taking care and wearing masks, and what do you think? Are they right to close the world to Britain? Because the world can actually still come here. And that's what I don't understand. Matthew Reed, can we shout out Fat Rascal, who's streaming Euro Truck with you in the background? That's good. Thank you very much for that. Let's get some calls on air. I want to hear from you. Best and worst stuff about Christmas. 01914 488 3188. We are greatest hits and all these because of stuff like this.
This is Night Owl with Adam Robson. Got something to say? Say it when the right people are listening.
Hi everybody, Alan Robson here again to give you some more news. First of all, do not forget, Grisly Tales from Northumbria, 160 amazing stories in a book, just out in time for the season to be jolly. I hope you will not just like it, but love it. But what about the podcast? Now, for those of you that can remember a grisly trail that I made around Paris, the dark side of Paris, available to hear again on robsonsworld.com, I managed to get a conversation with a man who murdered and ate people. And he described, in no uncertain terms, what it was like to eat human flesh and drink blood. And he also went into detail about the differences between blood from a blood bag stolen from a hospital and fresh blood from a victim. Heavyweight stuff. Have you ever thought about cannibalism? Have you ever wondered what the taste of human flesh was like? It's supposed to be very much like pork if you cook and season it right. Not that I'm suggesting you do. Instead, have a listen to the podcast and hear about a good dozen of the world's most grisly cannibals. We don't stop there. Then we look at something else that I've always considered grisly all my life, from the very first time I ever had to wrestle trying to put a condom on, like a bed sheet, and it was horrific and grisly. But what other things have people used throughout history, from way back in Egyptian times, Roman times, through the centuries here in Britain? What do people even use now in universities in America to stop their girlfriends falling pregnant so you can have sex without a condom? Yeah, we get into that. Now, as always, the podcast is a juicy, huge thing, packed full of grizzle. And we take a look at grave robbery. Now, yes, obviously you've heard of a couple of people that have done this before, but how many of you know about bodies of famous Hollywood stars that have been stolen? The bodies of kings that have been stolen. Did you know one of Britain's most famous kings was put in a tomb with a hole at the top, and people could put their hands in and touch the skull until somebody stole his jawbone? I'll tell you all of the stories of celebrity grave robberies. And of course, when we're talking about grave robbers, everybody knows the name Burke and Hare. Not everybody knows they started stealing bodies in Sunderland on Wearside before they went up to Scotland, where they became legendary. But do you know the full story? It wasn't just as simple as, let's dig up some bodies. It's, let's dig up some bodies. Oh, we're making a lot of money. We're not finding enough bodies. Let's start making a few bodies by murdering people. And I'll give you their names, I'll give you how they were killed, I'll give you all of the opportunities that the police had to catch them. And in robsonsworld.com, we do a grisly trail of Ireland. And I meet the body, the skeleton of one of those grave robbers. To find out everything, simply check out the podcast from all the places you get podcasts and type in Alan Robson's Grisly Tales. We got a corker for you this time, and I think you'll enjoy it.
This is the home of Alan Robson's Night Owls.
With the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Getting a few emails coming in as well, and Will says, how come our country's on practical lockdown and we can't travel anywhere, and the biggest numpty travels to Brussels for Brexit talks? Will he have to isolate on his return? Who's paying for that when we're so in debt? I just think it's rather convenient that Germany going into full lockdown at Christmas, COVID deaths on the increase, obviously tears and total lockdown patently don't work. All the government has done is create chaos where once there was a semblance of order. Is that true, or are we doing the right thing? Last lockdown actually didn't work because we were told if we locked down you get rid of the virus. We didn't, and it came back as soon as people went about doing their thing, as it always will, won't it? I mean, isn't that not pretty obvious? Or do you just keep doing your thing and get through it, like some of the other countries, Sweden particularly, has done? Anyway, let's move on. Let's get some calls in. Oh, hang on. Christmas presents, though, we discussed. And Tim says, I was given a scale electric set from my dad when he was a boy in the 1930s. I see. So he had one of the very earliest ones again. It was great and still worked, but the cars were from the time that my dad was brought up. And he bought me some up-to-date cars and track, and they still worked with a 1930s kit. Now, that's quality. That's from Timbo. Thank you, Timbo. Got a lot of people talking about their greatest gigs. Saw one that I absolutely agree with. Blink 182 with the Foo Fighters. Oh, that was a gig and something. Best gig, The Proclaimer, says Jason Gibson. How about that? And thanks for your kind words about the show. A lot of people loving the podcasts too. And Norman wants to tell Sarah, I love her so much. She will tell that on Christmas morning when she unwraps the incredible gift. Is it a car? Just thought I'd drop that in to completely ruin your night. Let's move on and get... Who's first? I think it is Chris, and he is in Wheatley Hill. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Alan, you all right?
I'm good, mate. What you got for me today?
Hi, just going on about these... you just mentioned it there about this lockdown carry-on and what have you.
Yes.
We're in Tier 3 at the moment, and I've been watching the stats and that, and obviously the cases are rapid in London at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
They're the top, cases in the country.
Yeah.
England at the moment, yeah. Like, I've spent the day in today because I'm having to self-isolate because I've had a test today, got surgery in a few days. And I'm watching the football, and the crowds are in London, 2,000 at Arsenal, 2,000 at Fulham, and what have you yesterday and there as well. And I'm just thinking, like, when is the government going to realise that we actually exist up here?
But you've got to ask the question, well, they know we exist up here, but do they care?
Right, there is that as well. I'm dubious as to whether they think we actually exist, because our cases are right down at the moment. I think we 6 or 7th out of 9 regions in the UK, in England at the moment.
Yep.
And you've got to wonder where the logic is in allowing football fans to attend football. I mean, the darts start on Tuesday in London as well, with crowds coming in, yet we can barely go outside and break wind up here at the minute, you know what I mean? It's it's a bit of a shambles, really. And
well, it's a double standard, whichever way you look at it. And if you take for granted what was said by some people that have COVID, they said there's something like 14,000 of these people, right from the very beginning. Masks, some of them big plastic, the big plastic visor things that you can get. Some of them have stayed in and still got the virus, and nobody's been to the house. How does that happen then?
Yeah, there's no guarantees with anything, and I think we've done a good job up here, but I think, that's just starting to get a bit annoying now. I mean, we've made a lot of sacrifices up here, some more than myself. I can only speak for myself personally.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit irritating when you see London top of the league for England, and they having luxuries, freedoms, whatever you want to call it, that.
And what they're saying now, I think, is what I think they're saying now. Now, when they were concerned, if they ever were concerned about the North, they said even though there's next to no cases at all in the north part of Northumberland, well, we're going to put a Tier 3 from the Scottish borders to the North Riding of Yorkshire.
Well, that was hideous as well. I mean, I live 6 miles outside of Durham, and obviously it was a touchy subject with a lot of people in County Durham about the behaviour of some of their students at the university. I mean, there was 2,000 cases, I think, in the first 3 weeks in Durham. And obviously I think that'll have been a major factor as to why we got locked down. You've got to wonder the farmer who lives in the middle of nowhere in Stanhope gets bundled in with
everybody else.
For example, it's not fair. And I'm reading tonight as well on a national news channel. They're closing schools in London this week because the cases are 250 per 100,000. Yet when County Durham a month ago was 450, it was the schools must stay open.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, it's just irritating.
Where's the consistency there? But the other thing is, you know, they shut down Northumberland right the way down to Yorkshire just on a whim. It wasn't to do with figures, because the figures were coming down. But in London, they're saying, oh, yes, the figures are going up here, but we're not going to close London down. We're going to do it borough by borough.
I think so. I think that's what they'll do. I think there's got to be a bit of desperation. There's obviously got to be a change of the goalposts. I think the review's on Thursday, whatever. Yeah. But I think that's going to anger a lot of people up here, because we have made a lot of sacrifices, whether, you know, and the stats speak for themselves. But
you see, we have to be safe. We have to not take this lightly. We've got to. We've been told, let's not be stupid about it. Let's use what common sense.
About it, because, like I say, the stats speak for themselves. I mean, Durham was 450. It's now, I think, about 150, 155, and that's in the space of a month. And that's a big decline. And there's been a lot of sacrifices made. So. You know, I'd just like to see a bit more consistency with that. But moving on about Christmas, you were saying, like, what's the good points and bad points about Christmas? Obviously, family time, and that's always a good thing. But one thing that you see at Christmas is, I think nowadays especially, is people try and outdo others. And the debt side of things with Christmas, you know... It's sometimes a game to some people. You see posts which irritate the life out of me on social media. These people who post like 300 presents behind the Christmas tree. That to me doesn't sit right, because there's a lot of people who are struggling.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just think sometimes Christmas is like, I'm bigger than you sort of thing, and it's that sort of part of Christmas. That for me is the worst.
Yeah, there's loving your bairns. I get I love my bairns. I'll do anything for my children. But what are these people trying to make up for? Because I would bet any amount of money that those kids would rather have a bit more time from their parents rather than I'll just buy them off once a year or birthdays and Christmas.
I think a lot of it's a game to some people. That's what I don't like as well. And I mean, you know, family time and stuff like that. You see parents who are in awkward situations with custody of kids and that who'll keep kids from
the other party. Sure.
That's I mean, the despicable, vile part of Christmas as well for me. I mean, you know, if you can't put your kid first at Christmas, when can you put a kid? Yeah. When can you put a kid?
I do think it's awkward, mind. And what seems to happen, and this is just from sitting in this seat for a lot of years, listening to what happens at Christmas, it seems that couples that are separated, they get on perfectly fine. There's not an issue. You can see the band whenever you like. Just ring me up first, and I'll make sure that the band's ready, and you can take him or her out. And then one or the other will get a new relationship. And then all bets are off, isn't it? That's shocking. It
should always be the band first night. That's the sad part of Christmas as well, because, you know, Christmas is a time for being together and stuff, you know. And there's some people out there who use kids as pawns, if that's the right word to say. You know, it's like the kids the little tool sort of thing, you know. And
it's a weapon you can use against the other
side. That's
side.
the word, Alan. Yeah, weapon. That's a sad part of Christmas as well, because people are using it for some sort, like a power trip. And I don't have kids myself, but I've seen examples of this in other friends, and I mean that doesn't sit right with me. That's obviously everyone's different, but You know, there's
Yes,
people who
all
use
right.
kids as weapons, and that's bang out of order. Like, 'cause kids are only young ones, and
Sure.
you know.
So
you only get one.
what's been your best ever Christmas present then?
Oh, I think it would have been a scale Erics, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Again.
It keeps being mentioned. It is. That first time you race, usually against your dad, because your mother doesn't care, but your dad's, ooh, I'll have a go.
You hold down the button, it just flies off the tracker, and you just destructive straight away. That was always a good memory. That one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, happy days. Anyway, thank you for coming on,
You
Chris.
have a good one, Alan. Thank you.
Great to
See you
hear
later.
from you. Thanks for coming on, man. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So there you go, Chris. The best and the worst things about Christmas. Using children as weapons against your partner. Or ex-partner, should I say. 0191 488 3188. Any tales about that? We're getting literally thousands of texts and emails and stuff. And somebody insulting Boris. And no surprise there. And I think they're trying to depopulate because there's too many people in the world. So they've released a virus to kill off strata of society, get rid of the older ones first. Is that really what it's about? 0191 488 3188. I'm going to give you 4 clues as well to identify a greatest hit if you're wise enough to work it out. However, we have Andrea, who is in Silksworth. Hello, Andrea.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. What are you on about tonight?
To be honest, I'm the founder of Sunderland Community Soup Kitchen here in Sunderland.
Right.
So if I could just have an opportunity to thank everybody, because I've been listening to the previous gentleman, and, okay, valid point about the south, but people from the northeast, they are absolutely generous, wonderful, kind, and COVID, it may be a problem, all over the world, but it's just brought so many people together in the work that we do.
Well, first of all, thanks for what you guys do on a daily, weekly basis. It's completely life-saving what you get up to. So what's been happening? I mean, how has the whole COVID social distance stuff, because you're face-to-face, hand-to-hand with people, and that's the nature of your business. How's that been affected?
To be honest, Alan, it's kind of one of those controversial things because we've worked all the way through following all of the guidelines, that you have to do.
Yeah.
And we've had nobody. We've had nobody with the problem. We've had nobody with the virus.
And yet you would think that the people who are on the streets and people that are literally sleeping wherever the hell they can find, and hostels, they would be the ones that would spread it faster than anybody. And I'm presuming also, mind, that a lot of the people that are coming, it's not exactly like you work in pick the name of any big supermarket where you're behind a perspex screen and everybody that comes up to be served is wearing a mask. I would imagine pretty much nobody's coming up with a mask on.
To be honest with you, Alan, we had to sort of change direction, so we now deliver to their homes.
Right.
Which kind of, it works out a lot better because a lot of people who we were dealing with definitely, we stayed in touch with everyone all the way through.
Right.
And it was the four-wall syndrome.
Right.
It was really messing with people's mental health. But it was just the fact that, somebody was turning up, how you doing every day, lovely home-cooked meal every day.
Yeah.
It was very small, but massive to those people.
Sure.
So we're still delivering, but we've got a brand new takeaway. We've obviously, a lot of our sort of ethos is dignity.
Yeah.
So we've started it. We've set plans back in July, but we're nearly finished a takeaway in Sunderland High Street,
brilliant.
and it just means that people can come and get their free food. It'll be 4 nights a week. At the minute, it was 7,
right.
But we'll just see how it goes. But it's just been such a vital, important part of life now. I think there were so many people struggling with food, and people didn't realise.
But once again, you're going to their homes, fairly sure they didn't have a mask on. Secondly, the people coming to the takeaway, I'm guessing an awful lot of them don't have masks. If you're living on the streets, it's not exactly high on your list of priorities.
Well, what we've been doing, Alan, is obviously when we've delivered to the home, you've got to drop it on the step back, stay a week away, do all the thing. Yep. So we've done everything by sort of COVID guidelines.
Right.
Homeless have been pretty much covered by the authorities. They've been off the streets. I think they're back on now, but they were off a good time of it. Yeah. So that's been quite good. But for us, it's just been business as usual. I mean, hungry people didn't stop for us, so we just kept on going.
Sure.
And obviously, I know I don't know how much time I have, but if I can just at this point thank everybody, especially we've had 3 major fundraisers. We've had a paratrooper finish a 24-hour walk up Pencher Monument. He went started yesterday. I tell you, it was terrible. Honestly, I couldn't cope me. I didn't want him to do it. But he's just, he's just a machine. That's the only way I can describe it.
He's just been up and down the hill for 24 hours.
He's done 74 miles in one day. Up that hill, muddy, wet. Just he's had his friends supporting him. He's just continued to go non-stop. It's been absolutely unbelievable. We've had a crowd of us down at the bottom, and his family are absolutely superb. They've been there. Just supporting the guy along. He's just an absolute credit to us, absolute credit. And £4,700. We only started with hopefully a 2,000. But if I can just point out, Alan, the money isn't important to us. It's the awareness. It's the awareness of what's going on.
Sure,
yeah.
But he's outdone the lamp. Yeah. He's outdone the Lambton Worm.
Absolutely. And then we've got another lovely gentleman who's he's every day doing a kilometre. He's doing 100 kilometres in 100 days in the sea at the minute. It's freezing. It's something between 3 and 5 degrees. He's absolutely mental. But there he is, Leroy Arkley, every single day in the sea. His friends are supporting him. It's they've got a swim club there doing that.
Brilliant.
And a big one, Roker Report.
Right.
Roker Report's got a massive, so we just want to thank everybody, the North East and afar, have been absolutely fantastic. So just again, thank you for the platform to thank everyone, because the people of the North East are wonderful, Alan. Thank you.
Anytime. And thanks again. Send my love to everybody that's involved, because you're a spectacular bunch of people. Thanks for all you do. I would absolutely love to. Thank you very much for coming on, love.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Merry Christmas.
Take care. Merry Christmas. Have a good one.
There you go. Andrea from Silksworth. And again from the food kitchen, the street kitchen. Fantastic. Got their own takeaway now, which is tremendous. And Tracy says, Alan, I wonder if you can help me. I'm a care worker and I've tested positive for COVID. Never felt so ill in my life for the last 4 days. Haven't even been able to get out of bed. I was wondering if there is any help available, as all I will be receiving is isolation pay, which is the same as sick. I feel this is wrong. As care workers, we've worked throughout the pandemic looking after COVID patients when they're discharged from hospital, and for weeks we were working 7-day weeks, the same as the NHS. All they seem to be is a grant that you can apply for, only if you work and get benefits. But what about the likes of us that have to work 60 hours plus a week just to make ends meet? We can't get benefits. It's us that will suffer. Part-time workers that get benefits will still get their payments as normal and get £500 off the government because they're claiming benefits. I think the benefit system isn't out to help full-time workers at all. We would all like to work 16 hours and get rent and council tax paid for, and an extra couple of £100 a month in benefits-free prescriptions, free dental treatment. But we that have to work full-time have to pay for everything. It doesn't seem right. Thanks, Alan. Love you and the show. Bless you. Thank you, Tracy. And that is horrific that's the case. So, do tell, have you been in a similar situation? Mind you, just thinking back to the soup kitchen there, you would think that people that have taken no precautions at all and they live in the worst conditions would be the people that COVID just went through, like water through a sponge, and yet they've had nobody. It's just weird, isn't it? 0191 488 3188. Maybe it's the people wearing masks that's spreading it. Something else that I heard, you'll have seen this advert on telly where they say, make sure you open your window so the COVID can get out. Have you seen that advert yet? What? Does that not let the COVID come in? No, we got to open our windows to let it out. I didn't even know it was in. And how do you know whether it's in or whether it's out? Because the government don't know. And that's the scariest part of all of this. Anyway, let's crack on. We have Nathan, who is in Stockton upon the Tees. Hello, Nathan.
Hiya, mate. You all right?
Yes, I'm good, man. What can we do for you?
It's just a follow-up, really, mate. I don't know if you remember, about 2 weeks ago, Jan from...
I do. You couldn't afford the ultimate Christmas gift that the Ben was desperate for.
It was, yeah. Well, she actually... We connected with each other and I've managed to secure the Christmas present now.
Oh, my
with
goodness.
Jan's help. So
well done, Jan. That's
over the moon.
That's just a lovely thing to do at a time when there's so very little contact, let alone anything else happening.
I know, yeah. I mean, I got a phone call the fortnight ago from Chris on your production team. What a guy, can I just say, Chris is absolutely amazing, by the way. So friendly on the phone and helpful.
I know him better than you.
Chris, thank you. I know, yeah, you have another opinion. But no, thanks, Chris, for that anyway.
That's good.
But
good news.
Like, Jan, absolute angel. This is, like, unbelievable. You know, I was made up over the moon. I tried to compose myself when I spoke to her, and I just, like, you know, I broke down afterwards. I couldn't believe it. It's what the North East is about, I think. It sums up this place in such greatness that comes from this place and the people around it. And
well, the thing you've got to remember, the way that we've always looked at it on Night Owls is if somebody does you a really big favour, pass it on. If you get the chance to help somebody else, just help them too, because sooner or later it'll come back round that you'll need something else and they'll be there for you again.
And that's one of the things that I'd said to Jan as well, that when I'm in that position, I will pay it forward myself. Right. You know, like that's what it's about. I try to put them messages on my daughter as well. You know, I try to influence that sort of stuff on her, so I will 100% be paying that forward. But
that's good.
Jan is definitely a local hero and deserves 100% credit for everything that she's doing. She told me a lot of things that she's done for the charity and with everything else, and during this tough time that she's managed to think of others as well. You know,
you see, I think it's really hard just to think about the people that you know, because it's funny that Christmas kind of shamed me, because all of a sudden I'm thinking, blame it, you know, when you write Christmas cards, you've got your Christmas card list and you think, I've never spoken to him for like 8 months now because, you know, all the stuff going on and you can't visit and things. And it just made me realise I've been a lousy friend to a lot of people, and you got to, but you can't meet them, you can't cuddle them, you can't shake their hand, you can't. And I'm not doing this business with the elbows. I'm sorry, I'm not that sort of creature.
It looks ridiculous, doesn't it? It looks like you've got something wrong as you're walking down a side street, elbowing everyone. Looks like you're out the Vindaloo video.
It's a very bad birdie dance, isn't it, that we're going through at the moment? But I think
a lot of people feel in that way though because of what's going on. I mean, it's a big scare for everyone. All these rules, all these changes, all these restrictions, and putting that on people makes them, you know, like you don't necessarily think of others. Because you're taking care of yourself.
We've got out of the habit of doing that. Oh, somebody next door's got a problem. Let's get round there and help them out as best you can. And that's how it always used to be. And now it's there's somebody got a problem next door. Keep away from them.
Yeah, you can't even go and help anybody else. You know, yesterday my neighbour's bathroom flooded, and they came running round and knocking, and there was nothing I could do to go in the house. You know, I couldn't help them, so I had to do what I could, like passing towels through and helping on the phone. But, you know, with all these restrictions, you can't even do the simple things like that, helping neighbours out.
And yet, apparently, you could ring a plumber who could go in and do it. Now, that's what kind of double standard is that?
I know, but
I mean, even if you're not a plumber, you can stick your finger in the hole.
Well, then the plumber comes in, and if he's got health problems, he's exempt from a face mask. So.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You are, aren't you?
That's where we are for sure. Okay, ask the same question. Need to know your all-time greatest Christmas present.
Well, I think Scale Electrics is up there, definitely at the top of it, as you've been hearing off many people tonight. But for me, it was a Sega Mega Drive.
Oh, blimey.
I know. I loved it
the beginning of a slippery slope that's led it. Because the argument, I suppose, is, especially when we're talking about Scale Electric, is it a race game better than Scale Electric?
I still don't think so, because your imagination goes wild with the tracks, doesn't it, that you can build. Whereas a computer game, you're sort of stuck to them levels, so you've got to go a certain way. Where your Scale Electrics, you're using more than just a finger to press the trigger, you're using a mind to create your tracks and racing against people and which car's the fastest.
Well, I remember one of my mates got a Scale Electric, but he couldn't, because at the time it was blimey, it must have been early 80s, and they were just starting to put the kit around them. You could buy like a Formula One pits thing that you could put on them, and a stand where people watched. But so his dad made some out of cardboard boxes and painted them up, and he did a good job. However, he couldn't make the characters. But the nearest characters to the size of the drivers in the cars were those little, like, toy soldier or cowboys. Yeah, and the crowd was...
You used to want to get them in the Kinder Eggs, didn't you? The little size ones.
But the crowd was made up of Knights of the Round Table, Red Indians, Germans.
I started using Lego bits around the side of my feet, dinosaurs and all sorts. And look over on the track.
But you're talking about imagination. That's imagination right there.
Oh, but that's what the Scale Electrics give you. It wasn't just a racing game. It was like a creative option. I mean, how many people do you think like now work in F1 designing race courses because they got a Scale Electrics when they were a kid?
Maybe so. Interesting. Anything else while you're on there, Nath?
No, mate, I just want to say thanks to everyone again, and especially Jan for all of the help. And I just can't wait to see my daughter's face on Christmas now with Jan's help, and I can't wait to meet up with Jan over in the new year and thank her face to face properly.
Lovely. Good stuff. Thanks very much, Nathan. All the best, man.
You too, mate. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. There you go. A little bit of night owls doing what night owls do, looking after each other. Going to give you a piece of music, but let's read a few comments too. And why is it when people see ghosts, it's always a lady in a grey dress, never a balding bloke with a tank top floating around the shed? Come on, ghosts, show some diversity. Well, that's actually not true. It's not usually people in grey dresses. And if you've followed any of the shows where we've taken people to these scary places, we've had all kinds of things. And not only human beings, we've had a few critters involved there too. So, but anyway, hey-ho. It's only when you look into it that you realise how close to never finding out we are. Maureen's been on. As regards to people contracting COVID, never having gone out, they're probably getting it via food parcels being brought in. My next-door neighbour last week, while having COVID, answered the door to the big supermarket delivery not wearing a mask. The driver, who I warned before approaching a door, was also not wearing a mask. He transferred food from the trays to bags while at her door, with her looking down on him. So if he's coughed or sneezed while delivering to others after her and has caught it from her, who knows how many others he may have transferred it to. This is the reason why every item bought by me is washed when I return home. I also see other deliveries done without drivers using masks. It's not choosy who it lands on, and until chances like them realise and accept it, it'll never clear up. As for COVID coming back, truth is, it has never cleared up. Take care, don't take risks, says Maureen. There you go. Thank you, Maureen. 0191 488 3188. Music. Let's have some. U2. Always loved U2. Hosted their big gig at Gateshead International Stadium with the Police back in the day. I asked the band, how do you all agree on stuff? Because they're fairly strong personalities, aren't they? And this is what they had to say.
On a musical level, we find consensus and we agree on lots of different things, and we tend to have a very good sense musically whether something is going to make it or whether it's not going to make it, and we're very good at that. We have a lot of experience with that. Yeah. On everything else, we differ. We have major philosophical differences on politics, religion, the way people, tie their shoelaces, the toothpaste, and whatever it is, we differ and disagree. And I think there is a sense out there from people that the band sort of moves as one sort of block, and that we all sort of, some sort of happy, clappy little camp. Nothing could be further from the truth. And when I get asked a question, I will answer it normally honestly, and I get myself into more trouble. I'm not being dishonest to the band. This is how the band works.
This is Night Owl
with Adam Robson.
Got something to say? Say it when the right people are listening.
The voice of the North.
Alan Robson's Night Owls, the phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest hits radio.
Now, we have a chance for you to win the said Night Owls mug. Whoops, there it is. And you also will get a copy of Grisly Tales from Northumbria. We've got that. A few more books to go. It will stop just before New Year, the books. So if you want to win them, you've got a couple more chances to do that. And don't forget, hang on, somewhere. Yeah, here it is. If you happen to call the show, you may also get the Geordie Santa, courtesy of Chris Cross, who has provided us with a few copies to dish out. Make sure you go online to his site if you fancy getting a copy of your own. It'd be very, very nice of you to do that. Right, I've got 4 clues for you to be victorious with respect to the mug and the Grisly Tales from Northumbria. And 4 words from a very, very famous song. But can you work out the name of that greatest hit? It's a massive hit song. You've sung it, you've danced to it. You can't help yourself. It's one of them tunes. First clue is this. What the armed forces have to do on approaching a senior officer. Okay? That's your first clue. What word are we looking for? What the armed forces have to do when they approach a senior officer. It is the action that I am doing. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're just listening on the radio, well, you've got to work it out for yourself. Simple as. And don't forget, you can get yourself a copy of the Grisly Tales from Northumbria and your Night Owls mug. So, both coming from separate sources, but they'll get to your place eventually. That's your first clue. 3 more clues to come. Let us head across to Anita, who is in Bishop Auckland. Hello, Anita.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, darling. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Right, the best things and the worst things about Christmas.
Do tell.
Best thing is family.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Worst thing, family.
What do you mean?
Well, the best thing is you get to see all your loved ones. You get to spend time with them. They're all happy. The worst thing is they start drinking or playing, getting tired. The petty rivalries come out between siblings, the blended family, the resentment, the tensions. It all disintegrates. But this year, it's far more complicated to manage with the 3 household rule.
Yeah.
Especially when you have 3 grown-up kids.
Oh, right.
Which one do you say you can't come?
Right.
The 31-year-old who lives on his own, the 25-year-old that's come up just for Christmas, or the youngest and a fella. Go on, answer that one.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I'm not trying to get you into any kind of trouble with the authorities here, but isn't there something where you say, where you just miscount a bit?
Yes, that's my feeling. But what about the ones that have big families?
Well, they're scuttled, aren't they, really?
Yeah, they're scuttled. I can't see my brother. I can't see my great nieces and nephews.
Mm.
You know, I'm going to miss all that this year, same as every other person is going to. And for what? London hasn't got into lockdown and it's got huge problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, for me, about money.
Would you explain, please?
Will you explain? Right, Northeast. We are the poorest region. We automatically get put into lockdown. We have high rates because of Sunderland, Newcastle, places like that. It's a high, dense area. People are packed together. Viruses are going to run rife. London's the same, but it's the centre of our finances, trade, that sort of thing. We've got to keep that open. We can't close that down. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I do. Absolutely. It's a one rule for one and one rule for another.
Exactly. It's the north-south divide, just bigger.
The thing with families, though, because I think it's always been tricky with families, and it's not just... surely the siblings, is it not who got the best present? How do you balance what you get for these?
Well, I've always done it on age. The 31-year-old gets less than the 25-year-old, and the 25-year-old gets less than the 18-year-old.
Oh, so the older they get, the cheaper you become.
Well, no, not so much cheaper, but less presents. The oldest one is getting a big present and 2 small ones.
Right.
But that costs nearly as much as the youngest one, who has got loads of presents.
Right. So it's down to amounts of money. It's slightly lessened as you stop being a child again.
Exactly.
I get that. No, I understand.
And next year it'll be even cheaper because she'll be 19, no longer a child.
Right.
This is her last child's Christmas.
Uh-huh.
So, but no, they don't tend to fight over the presents because each one of them is into something totally different.
But do you go along with what? Are they still of an age where they do the hinty? Well, I'm going to tell you what I want from you before you go shopping.
They do the tell me. They do the tell me.
That's all right.
The oldest one does. The middle one doesn't, and the youngest one hints.
Right. Oh, but that's good. That middle one must be a beggar to sort out, though.
Yes.
No, because I'm a great believer in and I know if you take a child out, and I'm sure loads of parents will say, every third shop, I wanna. There's a lot of I wanna goes on throughout the year, but especially at Christmas. But if they don't tell you anything at all, how do you get it right for them then?
Well, you stalk the Facebook, you stalk the Instagram, you talk to the friends, and you hope you get it right.
Right. That's clever.
If you don't, well, it's just their fault.
No, that's clever. It's clever, though, that you go the extra yard to do the whole Facebook thing, because there's an awful lot of parents that would not be adept at doing that and probably wouldn't even want to get lost in their world, if you know what I mean. But
there's nothing like a mum. You know, FBI doesn't come anywhere close.
And what about presents back, though? Because I always thought that kids usually get pretty close to what they're after. Mm-hmm. Even if they haven't got a lot of money, a parent will find some way to compromise and get you something that'll make you smile. Back in the day, and I saw a couple of these in the shops just the other day, the new Beano and Dandy annual. Blimey, I haven't seen them since I was tiddler, and you used to think, I might get an annual this year. And it was an exciting thing. I'm not so sure it's quite as exciting now. But the kind of gifts that kids got was always kind of in close to the mark of what they wanted. But mums and dads tended to get the same old tat every year.
Well, I'm pretty easy to buy for. Makeup, perfume and clothes.
So do you say, my sizes are, help yourself and off you go?
My oldest one just gives me money and says, buy whatever you want.
Right.
And it always gets me perfume to open.
Yeah.
Middle one always thinks something special for me. It's always little, but it's always well thought out.
That's good.
The youngest one just said to me the other day, you're so hard to buy for. So God knows what she's going to get me.
No, it's just when I remember me dad's Christmas, and we used to do that. It was the only day of the year usually that me mum, me dad and myself were in the same room, because me dad always was working. Always. You hardly saw him unless he was looking for you to smack you. But the three of us would sit around on Christmas, and it was very special because we were together and it was the only time. And I'd open a couple of presents and they'd watch me, because it's all about the bairns. And then I'd say, Dad, it's your turn to open one. Socks, hankies. And you're thinking, poor old soul. I mean, slippers. And you cannot leap up and down for presents like that.
No.
You could see in his eyes that he was just going through the motions for the rest of us. That's all that was about.
Mine, the worst Christmas present I ever got was red rubber gloves.
Was this some kind of kinky fetish?
I think it was the hint to wash up.
Yeah, in other words, you've cooked the dinner. Usually it would be my job, but you've got gloves now, so you may as well do it.
Exactly.
That's not funny. Because I know a lot of kids, especially when they're just getting into relationships and it's their first Christmas together and stuff, they fall into the trap of, I'm sure she'd love a new set of pans. It's a mistake, isn't it? It's a mistake. You never get anything that's practical for Christmas. It's supposed to be treats and things. That's what's...
No. So,
rubber
but my
gloves.
kids are usually good.
That's
It's the
not
hubby that's a bit crap.
What's the worst one he's got? I presume he was the rubber gloves man, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. And some candles. You think that's lovely? Yes, 2 beautiful candles which had been lit.
Oh, that's not... was it him that lit them, or did he get them off a stall somewhere?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. It was just...
No, that's not great.
And I didn't want bloody candles anyway.
No, one of the worst presents that I've had in recent years, because I've only ever had one of these, and it was probably 3 years ago. Somebody bought me, and it was from that shop that smells of soap.
Oh, yes.
I can't remember its name, but it's a... Ah, there it is. You smell it about 10 paces before you say it. I was bought a bath bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a bath bomb?
Oh, yes.
This is for those what div not know. This is a thing that you go in the bath, and when you're in the bath, you drop this bomb in it, and it goes fizz, 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 fizz. Well, this one had lavender and half a dozen other plant-like substances in it, and so it bubbles up and it smells all right. Does it make any difference? I put Dettol in my bath anyway, so I probably killed off half the smell. So, not a lot, just enough to get you clean, and in those delicate little places. And the problem with the little bits of flour, the floral bits, when I got out the bath, I was covered in all of this stuff, and I'm thinking, now I'm going to have to dry myself off and try and probably have a shower to get off what the bath bombs just left me. What a faff.
And then you have to clean the bath.
Then you got to clean the bath because it's covered with the same. I know,
yeah.
Absolutely no. And people go, "Oh, you've got me a bath bomb," thinking it's a good thing. No.
My heart drops because I think, oh God, I've got to clean the bath.
Bath again. I know it's a clot, and
the oils in it, and the flowers just stick to it.
Yeah.
And, if you don't clean it straight away.
But you've got the rubber gloves, mind.
Exactly. And they're red.
What you should have said to him, when you open the presents Christmas morning and it's your husband, you feel these things because you're feeling the present first, like you do, and you go, "Ooh, I wonder what this is." When you open them up, you should have put them on and said, "I suppose I have to touch it now." Ah. No, maybe he's not.
Maybe not after 3 kids.
I was thinking he probably touched it enough, quite frankly. But anything else while you're on them, darling?
Live music.
Oh, yes, do tell.
Best one that I ever saw was Tina Turner in the 80s.
Was that at Gateshead International?
No, it was down south. I was in London at the time.
Right.
And...
great performer.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
But I like live music. And not the big bands and that. It's the small ones. Mm-hmm. It's your local bands. I love to see those.
Yeah, me too.
So any live music place, get yourself along there. Support live music.
No, absolutely. I just hope we get it back soon because these people are just pulling their hair out wondering what the hell to do.
I know. They've got no income.
And no help. That's the other thing. They've written off an entire industry. Now, it might be all right if you too, or whatever. You could probably manage a month or 3. But if that's your main source of income and you're relying on 2 or 3 gigs a week...
Exactly.
What do? I don't know how these people are eating.
And they can't rehearse.
No.
They can't earn. They can't rehearse. And they don't get any support of the government. They fall between the cracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not fair.
No, it is not.
Same as techies.
Yeah, roadies, everybody that's connected to it.
Everybody who's connected to theatre and music, they've just fallen between the cracks. It's just wrong.
And and the government says, well, you just have to do something else.
Yeah, but What?
Like it's that easy. I mean,
Where?
it'd be all right if you're Rees Morgan, you've made £17 million on the stock market during COVID.
Exactly.
But for the rest of us, ooh, no, it's a different world. Anita, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, my darling.
Great to hear from
Bye.
you as always. There's Anita. She knows what she's all about. She seems to have got the present for the family thing working. It's a nightmare. Do you lot do the thing that I used to do? I used to buy a couple of presents, one like a box of chocolates or something, wrap it up, couple of bottles of wine, wrap them up. For the people that came to the house that you didn't think were going to bring you a present, and you could go, oh, I've got yours upstairs. And then you go and you get one of these. Oh, I didn't expect a bottle of wine. It's that kind of thing. Yeah, you must have a few tricks of your own. Share them with us. 0191 488 3188. Love to hear from you too. Ryan is in Glasgow. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, how are you? You all right?
I'm good, mate. You've just got out of Tier 4. And I know some people didn't even know there was a Tier 4. But you had that in Glasgow up until Saturday.
Just recently.
Saturday?
Yeah, just recently. Aye. Yeah.
So how's things? I mean, what was it like under Tier 4? I don't think we've had a Tier 4 in the north.
It's very similar, to be honest, to England. It's just different. Our Tier 4 is similar to your 3.
So your pubs and stuff shut?
Closed, yes, closed.
Because I know they all opened up, all the Christmas shops and the restaurants and what have you opened up on Saturday. And
yes.
Did everybody go crazy?
I haven't been in yet. I have not been in the town. I've been working.
Right.
But I'm going in a couple of days. Basically, I'm just ringing because obviously I know it's been a hard year for, well, nigh on everyone.
Uh-huh.
And I'm from Newcastle. I've written a really positive and cheery Christmas song, and I think I just want to share it because I've had great feedback so far from a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it would be great to, for people to hear it if they just want cheered up.
Where do they go to find it then, Ryan?
So you need to go to YouTube. You need to search my name. My name's Ryan Stott, Stott. The song's called "It's Christmas," and you'll find it there. And feel free to listen to it as many times as you want. I've had great feedback so far. Like I said, people have said this has made me day.
Right,
I've had it on repeat.
Uh-huh.
And it's just because I know a lot of people have had such a tough year.
It's Christmas. Ryan
it's
Stott,
Christmas.
3 T's.
That's it. And I've not been home all summer.
Right.
Well, nigh on all year. I come home all the time. Well, I did.
Mm.
And I just think it would be great for people just to have some nice local, festive positivity for a change.
Absolutely. We would love it. Thank you very much, Ryan. I hope a lot of people go and check it out on YouTube. It's Christmas.
Yes.
Ryan Stott, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Well, thanks, man. Talking about music that gives you a good feeling, Greatest Hits Radio, of course, and making the mechanics. I was talking to Paul Carrick.
Always loved what you do. And when you're working with making the mechanics, do you feel constrained in any way? Because you've got this Paul Carrick wanting to be Paul Carrick, and you've got your own stuff, which is tremendous. So did you not feel, I'd like to do it this way or that way?
I think I would feel constrained if I didn't have any other outlets, for sure. Because, I don't agree with everything that we do and how we do it in that band. But that's part of being in a band anyway. And it always gives me the option of saying, well, of course, I wouldn't have done it like that if it doesn't happen.
Right.
But, no, as I say, I'm conscious of being in a band and trying to make it work when I'm in that situation. I think I would feel frustrated were it not for the fact that I've now got the opportunity to do things that in my own way.
Right.
With the solo thing.
At your own pace.
Exactly.
This is Night Owl
with Adam Robson.
Got something to say? Say it when the right people are listening.
0191 488 3188.
This is Night Owls.
Greatest hits radio.
Now, a few people have been contacting us asking about the book, The Grisly Tales from Northumbria. It's out now on Northern Heritage. Amazon have it and all the rest of it. If you're out shopping at the Metro Centre or in Newcastle City Centre, the Back Page shops have a limited number of signed copies on the counter. I went in to sign a few of them earlier in the week. Both branches have got some on the counter because obviously can't do signing sessions like we traditionally would have done. So anyway, Back Page, limited number. Once they've gone, they've gone. Right, so we have also a lot of mentions. David and Andrea have a load of classic Night Owl shows, and they're going to be dropping them off for us to listen to in the new year. That's very, very kind. Got some bad news for you if you have not sent a parcel yet. It's from someone who works for the Royal Mail. I've got photographs to send to, he or she. Can you please advise listeners who are looking to receive a parcel fast or have a parcel posted out over the festive period that they're wasting their time posting with regular first or second class? I would recommend special delivery or at least tracked 24. Today we were sorting out mail from December the 3rd. That's a 10-day delay already. In 13 years working for Royal Mail, this is the worst pressure period I've ever seen. We've been up the wall since lockdown occurred in March, where people were forced to buy online, and now we have the Black Friday backlogs on top of regular Christmas pressure period mail to deal with. Mail is no longer able to be stacked neatly when brought into the mail centres. It's literally overflowing in the back of vans due to the sheer volume of mail. I've attached a couple of photos so you can see what I mean. It's the back of a van, and it's just piled up to the top. Hundreds upon hundreds of parcels and green envelopes filled with... You cannot get moved. And some of them are the sizes of fridges and what have you. It's an impossible job. So don't blame the posties. It's the situation that everybody's found themselves in. And we've got some more that I will read out soon, but we want calls on air. Our next caller, Inra, is in Gateshead. It's Brian. Hiya, Brian.
Hi, Alan. Just before I make me point there, right, my postman's annoying because he just shoves your letters halfway through the letterbox and sticking out. Anyone could walk past and pull your blinking bank statement out of the letterbox. Do you know what I mean? It's annoying.
No, that's not good. Not good at all.
No, he doesn't push them through the box at all. He just has them all sticking out.
Have you had a word? Can you not have a word with him and say...
I have. I've pulled them over and he did, aye, okay. And he just does the same thing all the time. He just has them sticking out your letterbox.
Right.
So that's, thumbs down for them lot.
Yeah, that's not great. Right.
Anyway, on some happier stuff, right? Yeah. Christmas is a really good family tip that my partner used to do all the time, and it used to save a lot of stress, time and effort.
What's that?
She's from Dalkeith in Scotland originally, so she's highly organised, right?
Right.
What we used to do every year, right? She used to buy Christmas presents for the daughters and the little lad all year round.
Right.
You know, so for example, if she bought a big doll for one of the daughters, you can bet your bottom dollar it's made in the Far East, so when you got it back to your house, it's always full of tiny little wires and bits of unwanted plastic. They're actually sold at the dolls practically in the boxes, so you can't get them out. So what she used to do is take a big doll home in a box, take the doll out the box, carefully, not unwrap all the horrible bits of wires, all the bits and pieces that you don't need on there, bits of plastic and that. Yeah. Any little things like little shoes or a little tiara or a little handbag, put them all in a little money bag. Yeah, inside the money bag, put the money bag in the box with the doll, put the box lid on, and then wrap it up, put the name on for the child. So when Christmas Day comes, that child can open the box up straight away, get the doll out, play with it straight away instead of wrenching at the wires, or nudging you to say, can you get the wires off here when you try to do something else? Now should be cooking Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
So that gets rid of all the stress and it gets rid of all the plastic. So come like Boxing Day and all that, all we had to do was just rip the cardboard boxes up and put them in the recycle bin. So when the bin man came round, we never had loads of big black bags full of boxes filled to the top with all sorts of wires and plastic because we got rid of the wires, well well in advance. So, and the same when we bought the little ladder car, a police car, whatever, a big one. Took all the wires off the wheel because the wheels are attached to loads of wires and bits of plastic. So all the wires off the wheels and stuff.
Right.
Put not heavy, everlasting batteries in the car. Right. Yeah. The Energizer or Duracell or any other well-made, known battery make. Put them in the car. Put the car in the box.
So it's good to go. You open it up and you're away. None of them messing about.
Exactly. So when he took the car out, press the button, it's on, it works. You're not like, Brilliant. Dad, can you do this? Can you take the wires off? Can you put the battery down? Not rushing around the house looking for batteries.
Yeah.
And again, all the plastic's gone. So.
And what you're saying is,
it was really, really good. You know what I mean? It was like quite low, just paper.
It means that you can have a Christmas as well, because they're just opening their present and playing with them. Done deal.
Exactly. I mean, past experience, when I was a kid, I got toys and stuff, right? I used to wrench the blinking wire off and end up pulling the blinking wheels off the car. You know what I mean? Because obviously the wires were so tightly knotted around in that.
Yeah.
You don't want to be spending, nobody out there who's got children, you don't want to be spending ages faffing on with bits of wire.
No.
Do what we do, buy a toy, take it home, take all the rubbish off it, put all the plastic in the bin, put the toy in the box. If any little tiny shoes or bags or whatever, or tiaras, put them in the money bag, put them in the box with the toy. Bang, you're ready to go.
And then you don't lose them. You've got a place to keep them all in when you finish playing with the things as well. Because I remember, those, I don't know what you call them. They're bits of wire, but they've got plastic over them, and you wrap them round and you twist them to hold things together. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what they were like on the toys. I don't know, you got the attached into the boxes.
But they're sharp. They're sharp. They can really hurt you if you stand on them, or they can puncture your fingers and make you bleed.
Don't forget, a lot of toys these days now, Alan, are made in Southeast Asia, and obviously they're travelling in, on cargo ships. They've got to have them. They have them all they go over the top.
Secured,
back in the 60s, you didn't have all this wire and plastic. Now it's all on the toys. So that's what we partner used to do: take all the wires off and all the bits of rubbish, and just keep the box. And it was quite stressful free. Do you know what I mean? Just sitting back, relaxing. Kids play with the toys, and they just picked up all the cardboard, put in the recycle bin, no black bags, and you haven't got the horribleness of the bin man come round. You got out 5,000 bags inside. You've really been trying to jump them down on top. You've really been to press them down. Get rid of it all in advance. Do you know what I mean?
Do you not still get, because the one thing that I used to love, little kids especially, love making a mess, and they don't care if there's 1,000 bits of Christmas paper lying across the floor. But parents now, they spend a lot of time wrapping all this stuff up, but then on Christmas Day, they're sitting there with a black bag, and everything that comes off that goes in the bag so that there's no mess in the house in case somebody comes this afternoon. Not that anybody will be coming this Christmas, but that used to be the technique. So what was the best thing that you got, best and worst? We might as well do that with you too, Bri.
Oh, right, over Christmas. Well, my grand, you'll not believe this, Alan, it's bizarre, this is one of the weird, spookiest presents ever. I don't know where you got this from. My granda, I don't know his name there, my granda, right? It was this thing that's called a skull machine, right?
Never heard of it. What is it?
It's like a machine, you put like plastic skulls that you put plaster Paris in, and you put them in this machine and heat them up and make blinking skull. Do you know those what do you call those things where the kids just put oh God, I can't remember calling it out. It's like a plaster Paris thing where you make things that you can paint the ornaments and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've seen those things. Yeah.
They were similar like that, but they were skulls. You put the material, like the powder, inside these plastic skull-shaped things, and put them in this machine. And obviously, when they were done, you took the skull out and you just paint the skull different colours. I thought, what a creepy present to buy a child. It was called Skull Machine. If you look it online, you'll probably see it somewhere. Skull Machine. That was the weirdest present.
Yeah, that's kind of out there.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favourite presents when I was younger was, do you remember Astro Wars? The little handheld, Space Invader game.
Oh yeah, of course.
I had one of them. I loved it. Astro Wars. It was great. You played it in your hands, and it was a big red button to press and stuff. It's like a little video screen, but you didn't attach it to the telly. You just sat there and played it in the corner. You put batteries in. So
what was the name of that? What was the name of that little tiny game system that you used to get? And you put the tiny little cassettes in the back for each game. Go back 15 years, probably.
Well, that was Atari or something, was it?
No, it wasn't Atari. What the hell was that called? I can't remember. Some gamers will go, I know what he's talking about. But everybody had to have one of these little tiny handheld things. It was not your big game system. This was the one you carried around with you, and you'd have 8 or 9.
Game Boy, Alan, was it?
Game Boy!
Oh,
is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It was a game. Everybody had to have a Game Boy, and then within 2 years, you never heard of them again. They just came.
No, they came and went, didn't they? But I mean, like the best thing about Christmas, Alan, for me, right? I'm not bothered about because I'm like at that age now where I'm in my like early 40s, so I'm not bothered about presents anymore.
Right.
I just enjoy a good Christmas dinner, a couple of drinks, have a bit of a sing song, do daft things, and have a laugh. Do you know what I mean? But I don't care about presents.
But isn't it funny though? You know this: have a daft laugh and have a sing song. We just don't have as much fun as we should anymore. And it's all you could have a sing song, a dance. And do some clarty daft games any day of the year. Why do we wait all year to do it?
I don't know, Alan. But these days now,
uptight.
Yeah, I mean, these days now, the daughters are quite easily happy because they just prefer perfume and that. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, not like into like swanky phones or whatever. They think they're gadgety wise, it's just like perfume and other bits and pieces that girls like, makeup, I suppose, and bath salts and that kind of thing. So they're pretty easy to cater for, do you know what I mean?
Great, hey, you're very lucky.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I like about Christmas, having a good Christmas dinner and being around the family and stuff, and like, reading the daft crackers and the jokes and the crackers.
Right.
Yeah.
And it always makes me laugh because cheap crackers are equally as good as expensive crackers. The expensive cracker presents. Who the hell wants the stuff that they put in those things? And they're never worth anything, so you might as well just get the cheap ones.
I've got a good cracker. I mean, I've got a good present of a cracker. Once I was a pocket bottle opener. And I've got my keyring bottle opener. It's great. So I've had that for about 10 years. And it's really handy, do you know what I mean?
Had something to do with alcohol, though, just to kind of fit. I understand.
Yeah.
Hey, good stuff, Brian. Thank you for coming on.
Take care.
All the best. Bye-bye. Now, I've been sent a picture, and thanks to Brian for that. What about you? Has anybody else ever had anything remotely useful out of a cracker? I remember somebody bought some real expensive from one of the posh supermarkets, the ones that you only go to for the odd thing. And everybody opened them, and we were I don't know what we were expecting, but something better than what we got. Somebody got a little character, like a toy that you had to put together, and it became like a little toy soldier. And you think, why didn't you just put the whole toy soldier in? The cracker was like this size. Somebody else got like a nail clipper. You kind of get excited about stuff like that. But he got a bottle opener. He was quite happy. He obviously had a bottle that he couldn't open. It kind of fit for him. This next one, though, I've been sent a photograph, and it looks like a couple of people who've starred in Strictly Come Dancing. It says, "Hi there, I live on Dinsdale Road in Hardwick, and our little street has gone to town with Christmas lights. It's Bernice and Wendy, who's the mother, but there's a photograph here of a man as well. Hello, Bernice and Wendy."
Hiya.
Hello, ladies. Who's this bloke?
I don't know.
There's a photo here of two of you.
Oh, it might be Santa.
No, it's not a Santa. It's a guy. It's a guy in a posh outfit with an attractive lady in front of him, and he's rubbing skulls with her.
Well, I don't know.
I can't
remember. I sent you so many pictures.
Well, it's a nice picture anyway. Do tell everything, because apparently the grotto is in Mam's garden. It's in your garden, Wendy.
Yes, it is, yes.
Tell me everything about what you've got in there. Paint a lovely picture for me.
Oh, she's making me talk to you because she's nervous.
Right.
We live on this little road that has a community green in the centre.
Right.
And because the children have had such a naff year with the COVID crap, we decided to light the green up to make the children smile.
Oh, excellent.
There is full of lights, absolute covered in lights. There's a communal Christmas tree. And my mum did a Santa's grotto that has a singing and dancing Santa Claus.
Oh, brilliant.
It looks lovely. And we've also added a donation box for TFM's Cash for Kids.
Oh, that's lovely. Good on you. That's
so that's why we wanted to be on the radio, because we want to spread the word and get as many donations as possible, because our community wants to do our best for all the children.
That is lovely. So if anybody's anywhere near Hardwick, Dinsdale Road is what you aim for. Doesn't matter if you're just passing through. Have a quick drive around and have a look at it, especially late in the evening. Mind you, I say late in the evening. It's dark by about 3:30.
It is. We usually put the lights on around 3 o'clock, and, you know, we just turn them off when we go to bed. So there's plenty of time for everybody to come and have a good look and bring the kids. And we have social distancing posters up as well to make sure we maintain government guidelines.
Right. I just feel sorry because you cannot even sit. Doesn't matter how long Santa's knees are, they're not going to be long enough for social distancing, though. That's the thing.
No, it's awful for the kids, and that's why we've done this, just to see some of them smile, even if they're just passing in a car.
No, it's great. I must admit, just driving around the patch, I've seen one inflatable Santa Claus and a polar bear next to him with 3 penguins on his back, and you just, when you drive past, you just grin. You can't help it, and that's what it's all about. We should have, and maybe it's because people are so isolated that I'm going to order myself an inflatable polar bear, because you just wouldn't do it under any other circumstances.
Every time she sees something online, she's like, right, I'm ordering that one. And she's got a unicorn coming this week, she's just said.
That's excellent. No, it's great. I tell you, at times like this, I just feel most people just need something to focus on, because most people, if you're furloughed, you're sitting around, you don't know what's coming next. And to have even just something that is relatively trivial, I know you turned it to the power of good with Cash for Kids, and we appreciate that. But in general, it's just to make yourself laugh, keep you busy, and to cheer up your miserable estate. That's the...
We as a community, honest, I can't stress enough how much it is. Our neighbours, our community, we've pulled together all this year. We've looked after each other through the bad times, and we was adamant that we was going to have a good Christmas, even throughout COVID. I know we've got to maintain social distancing, but we can still smile together.
Absolutely.
We can still make children happy together, so why not?
Why not, indeed. Hey, great talking to the pair of you. Dinsdale Road, Hardwick, if you're anywhere near the vicinity, and try and track down who this creepy guy is. At first, I thought it must be like a brother or a husband.
It might be my husband, you know, he's a creepy guy.
Anyway, thank you very much for coming on in regards to the creep. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Take care, bye-bye. Oh, what a shame. Could you imagine if he's at work listening to that? 0191 488 3188. Get your calls in. Going to have another very quick piece of music, and then we're going to talk to Vina, who is in Towlaw. Now, the stars come out at night. We've already heard from you two. Already heard from Mike Carrick from Mike and the Mechanics. Roxette, we talked to them about some of the highlights.
What's been the biggest moment, the biggest kick that the pair of you have had up till this point?
Yeah, one of the best shows that I came up to my mind is when we were playing in Beijing in China, and when 16,000 people, Chinese people, are singing "It Must Have Been Love."
Oh,
it was a fantastic moment. I think that's really one of the highlights in our career.
Great.
Yeah, but that was the great thing, because I think it's, you know, Roxette turned into a different thing during that show, because we became the symbol for the West. You know,
right.
People really looked at us as something, you know, that they couldn't have, but they really, really want. You know, and you found banners in the audience saying "One World, One Unity," and it became a political concert.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really interesting and emotional to be part of it.
What's your highlight then, Per? And obviously, you got a kick out of that too.
Yeah.
What is your own personal highlight?
Well, I think the whole thing, you know, coming from a little town in Sweden, writing songs. Make records and go to places like Tucumán in Argentina, or Lima, Peru, or Taipei, places where you don't really have any relationship to those places at all, in different language, different culture, different religion, or whatever, and they still sing your songs. That's like the whole thing is like breathtaking. But obviously there are highlights like the first American #1 when The Look really made it in the States. That was like so far up because we didn't really expect it at all. But we've had a great career, so there's lots of highlights.
This is Night Owl with Adam Robson. Got something to say? Say it when the right people are listening.
Hi everybody, Alan Robson here again to give you some more news. First of all, do not forget, Grisly Tales from Northumbria, 160 amazing stories in a book, just out in time for the season to be jolly. I hope you will not just like it, but love it. But what about the podcast? Now, for those of you that can remember a Grisly trail that I made around Paris, the dark side of Paris, available to hear again on robsonsworld.com, I managed to get a conversation with a man who murdered and ate people. And he described, in no uncertain terms, what it was like to eat human flesh and drink blood. And he also went into detail about the differences between blood from a blood bag stolen from a hospital and fresh blood from a victim. Heavyweight stuff. Have you ever thought about cannibalism? Have you ever wondered what the taste of human flesh was like? It's supposed to be very much like pork if you cook and season it right. Not that I'm suggesting you do. Instead, have a listen to the podcast and hear about a good dozen of the world's most grisly cannibals. We don't stop there. Then we look at something else that I've always considered grisly all my life, from the very first time I ever had to wrestle trying to put a condom on, like a bedsheet, and it was horrific and grisly. But what other things have people used throughout history, from way back in Egyptian times, Roman times, through the centuries here in Britain? What do people even use now in universities in America to stop their girlfriends falling pregnant so you can have sex without a condom? Yeah, we get into that. Now, as always, the podcast is a juicy, huge thing, packed full of grizzle. And we take a look at grave robbery. Now, yes, obviously you've heard of a couple of people that have done this before, but how many of you know about bodies of famous Hollywood stars that have been stolen? The bodies of kings that have been stolen. Did you know one of Britain's most famous kings was put in a tomb with a hole at the top, and people could put their hands in and touch the skull until somebody stole his jawbone? I'll tell you all of the stories of celebrity grave robberies. And of course, when we're talking about grave robbers, everybody knows the name Burke and Hare. Not everybody knows they started stealing bodies in Sunderland on Wearside before they went up to Scotland, where they became legendary. But do you know the full story? It wasn't just as simple as, let's dig up some bodies. It's, let's dig up some bodies. Oh, we're making a lot of money. We're not finding enough bodies. Let's start making a few bodies by murdering people. And I'll give you their names, I'll give you how they were killed, I'll give you all of the opportunities that the police had to catch them. And in robsonsworld.com, we do a Grisly trail of Ireland. And I meet the body, the skeleton of one of those grave robbers. To find out everything, simply check out the podcast from all the places you get podcasts and type in Alan Robson's Grisly Tales. We got a corker for you this time, and I think you'll enjoy it.
This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
This is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Call 0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
It's time for our second clue as well for tonight's competition, where you could win yourself a copy of the Grisly Tales from Northumbria and also the Night Owls mug. So if you would like that and the Grisly Tales book, that's the very thing there, you can win a copy of that if you can answer me one simple question. You'll get 4 clue questions. You'll end up with 4 words. Then you've got to work out the name of a greatest hit, a massive hit song from those 4 words. If you can, give it a try, and you get both of those prizes. And some other lucky night owl tonight will also be getting a copy of Chris Cross, the Magician's brand new home for Christmas. Jodie Santa. So, get ready for that. 2 clues down. The first clue is what the armed forces have to do approaching a senior officer. Okay? That is what armed forces have to do on approaching a senior officer. Second clue, what we wave if we're patriotic. Okay? What we wave if we are patriotic. Okay? 2 clues down, 2 more clues to come, and you'll have that in about an hour and 20 minutes, so you haven't got long to wait. Get ready for it. Let us move across to Town Law. We promised you Vina, and here she is. Hello, Vina. Hello, Vina. Let's try again. I know she's there somewhere. Hello, Vina.
Hello.
Hello, there you are. Good to have you with us. What can we do for you, my love?
Me best Christmas and the worst Christmas I've had.
Yeah.
My best Christmas was many years ago, and I've got 2 sets of twins.
Right.
And the first set got christened on Christmas Day.
Give over, my goodness, what a time.
Yes, I know.
How come it's always twins? Do you eat like 2 Weetabix or something?
No, I had 2 singles before that.
Oh, blimey, right.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I know.
So I would have thought 2 singles is probably enough, but no, let's have a house full.
Well, yes, why not?
Did you find, this is a personal question really, did you find that your husband tried harder when you had the twins?
I don't know what to say to that.
Best not answer it, just move straight on by, Vina. So, I mean, that was your best Christmas, obviously, because it was the bands and getting christened. And I would imagine what a gorgeous day to actually do something like that. What was your worst one then, Vina?
The worst one was the second set of twins. They were both in hospital for Christmas Day.
Oh, no. Why? What was wrong?
Yes. The youngest one had pneumonia.
Oh, lummy.
And a twin sister had bronchiolitis.
Blimey. So you'd be spending your whole time there waiting and just trying to make sure they were okay across the... Christmas probably didn't happen that year, I'm guessing. Not really.
It didn't. I think we had egg and chips for dinner that year.
Yeah. Oh, blimey. What a carry-on. What a
yeah,
carry-on.
So I had Christmas when they came out.
I hope they're all right, though. They made it.
Oh, yes.
Right. Oh,
definitely.
Nothing sadder than a little baby in hospital.
I know.
And over Christmas, just can't imagine what it was like. And everybody else is full of the Christmas spirit, and all you can do is worry.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Scary times. So what's been the best present that you've had, though? I mean, has anybody bought you something really stunning over the years?
I'm trying to think.
That sounds like a no. Oh, that's sad. Surely you must have had something that you went, wow, can't believe you.
I got it for a birthday present.
Uh-huh.
When I was 50, I got a hot air balloon ride.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Which was brilliant.
Yeah.
And on Friday, me kids and grandkids bought us a helicopter ride.
Wow, you're more like James Bond than a granny. That's amazing. Oh, that's great.
I know.
So where did you go with the helicopter?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, that's great.
It's not until next year.
Of course, so presumably they've got you it in readiness. Now, that's great. Yeah. Do you have any idea where you could go?
It's setting off from Bellingham.
Right, Bellingham. In Northumberland. It's probably going to come down the Tyne Valley then, I'm thinking, if it's there.
I would think so.
So you'd probably see all
the
bridges and you'll see the dam and everything. Oh, that'd be great.
I know, I'm looking forward to it.
No, I think it'll be fantastic. And what's the worst present you've got? Anything you've got that you just wanted to clag the person who gave you it?
No, not really.
You're such a lovely person.
I'm always happy with whatever I get.
That is a sweet, and that is the spirit of Christmas right there. While the rest of us whinge and moan. Absolutely. Setting an example we should all follow, Vina. Anything else while you're on, my love?
Can I say some hellos?
Of course you can. Go for it.
To Heather, Kristen, Kirsty, Hazel and Tracy.
Fabulous. Thank you very much for
coming.
coming.
5 of my children, so...
That's good. That's just guarantee you get a better present. That's lovely. Thank you, Vina.
Right, thank you.
Take care, bye-bye. I just want to say to my children, I've got you a nice present. Now it's your turn. Right, from Vina, let's go to Paul, who's in Darlow. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
I'm all right. Good to hear from you. What can we do for you?
It was just basically, I would love to take this opportunity on Night Owls to plug my brand new Christmas single, which is called Here's to Ho Ho Hoping, which I just literally released last week. So it's just been online for 7 days.
Fantastic.
And it's now available on Spotify and iTunes and YouTube.
So this
as well.
This is by Paul Thurkel, Here's to Ho Ho Hoping. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Lovely stuff. So, can you just give us a blast of a bit of it? Just a cappella?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, it's one of those things I don't even know if this is going to be in tune, but it goes something like, it's Santa coming to town. He'll sanitize the chimneys in every town and city, and if Lapland goes into lockdown, we won't let social distancing ruin our Christmas thing.
That's good. No, that's brilliant. Good on you.
It probably wasn't in tune.
No,
to the end.
blame it. Was more in tune than most of other people have auto tuning. So that to get something live's always better than that. No, nice one, Paul. So I mean, you're an actor, you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you're a lot of things. Yeah. But dead year, really, I suppose.
Oh yeah, it's certainly been a very, as we all know, a very challenging and extremely difficult year for everybody. So I kind of wanted, to be honest, I've always wanted to write and record a Christmas song.
Right.
And it was sort of like, almost like a bucket list thing, something that I wanted to try and achieve. Right. Like, I don't know, like swimming in a pool of donuts or hosting my own chat show, actually.
Whoa, hang on a second. Swimming in a pool of donuts?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's somewhere on the list. I don't know what number it is on the list.
I was going to say, now you've mentioned it, yeah. But as long as they're the ones with the holes in. You know those donuts that you get that are just over if they haven't got the hole, they're not a donut, are they really?
Oh, well, it's interesting because I know what you mean. Like the classic sugaring donut is incredible, and I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I do love it when I love like a custard filled donut. I mean, I go nuts for a Nutella flavored donut. Those things.
There you go. Right, I hear you.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you gotta love donuts. Like they're incredible. Like,
I can't get away with it. Can't get away with custard. I'm sorry. Can it get away with the custard?
No, are you not a fan of the custard donut?
Custard is designed to be hot. You can't, unless you hold the donut under your arm. If you hold the donut under your arm, the icing all starts to melt. It's a mess. Doesn't work. Not for me.
Well, no, I mean, that is absolutely... that's a fair call. I absolutely love them. So, I mean, it's definitely, it's there on here. So I've came on here to, plug my song, and now I'm just chafing on about donuts.
Yes, to hoping. I'll tell it again. There you go. Paul Thurkel. No problem.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, I've always wanted to write a Christmas song, and I think I felt if I was going to do it on any year, it would be this one, obviously, with it. At least attempt to sprinkle a bit of merriment on it anyway.
So again, tell everybody where you can get it again. I know it's on Spotify, Apple Music. We're hearing it's on YouTube.
Yes, absolutely, yes. I also found out today it's also, well, at least a bit of it is also on TikTok.
All right.
But it's one of those things I'm not, I don't really know how TikTok works. I probably should. But it is on there. But yeah, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. And yeah, it's I've been getting like a really lovely response to it so far, which has been really lush. Just some nice comments.
Well, let's hope you get a few more anyway, man. Paul, thank you for calling.
Thank you very much.
All the
Have
best.
a lovely Christmas.
You too. Here's hoping. Paul Thickel there, and we wish him well. Anybody that's in the business and not been doing anything, they're driven crazy. But good to know that they're putting their minds to cool things and at least putting their name about if they can't graft. We're off to Chris, who is in County Durham. Let's head in that direction right now. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, man. What can we do for you tonight?
I was just hoping to plug my book tonight.
Okay. What is your book?
Well, it's a conspiracy theorist book.
Okay. What's it called?
Well, the title of the book has a long story behind it.
Okay. Tell me the short version.
Okay, so I said to my brother, I'm writing a book about conspiracy theories.
Right.
And he hates conspiracy theories.
Right.
So I said to him, okay, you can name the title of the book.
Oh.
And he said, you should call it, this is the name it's going to be called, because he said it, 100 pages of SHITE.
Right. It's a catchy title.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Well, 100 pages of... Right.
100 pages.
Okay, but underneath that, you're going to have conspiracy theory. You're going to have to tell people what's in the book, because obviously if you're writing
the chapters.
Right.
There's going to be a chapter on 9/11.
Right.
Terrorism. 7/7.
Right.
UFOs.
Yeah.
Aliens. Ancient history.
Right.
And mind control and brainwashing.
You're speaking as if you haven't written it yet.
Well, I've written the chapters, and I've got the book name now.
All right.
So I just need to put the content into it.
Right, okay.
It's going to be called like a 4-year experience of looking into conspiracy theorists and conspiracy theories.
Right. I mean, after you've looked into them for that length of time, did they have any merit, or did you think they were just a load of what your brother thought?
No, yeah. There's a few things that had merit. I don't know if I can say it in the video, but
if you want, go for it.
Obviously that coronavirus is a lot of bollocks. And there's another one that's the Las Vegas shootings, because I've seen the police body cam from someone who was on the floor on the Las Vegas shootings. It's a 40-minute video of his cam. It shows people pretending that they were shot.
Right.
They weren't really. One guy who said he was shot in the head with a machine gun walked up to the police officer later and said, "Is it all right if I go now?" Well, earlier on, someone was holding a hanky on his head and said he's been shot in the head.
Was it not just some footage that got out of some manoeuvre they were doing, like getting ready in case of terrorism or something?
That's one thing I looked into, and I thought maybe it is that. So I checked the other footage, and actually the stuff that was put on the news is part of that footage was released on the news.
As being real?
Yeah, as the real event. And it just looks like it is the real event as well.
Right.
From every angle that you look at it. From the sound stuff. But what happens is this copper has got his camera on, and he's walking around, and all these crisis actors are pretending they're being shot. And honestly, there's no doubt about that. And then he runs about 100 metres in the direction of the Mandalay building. And that's where all the people were who were in the concert. And there's somebody with a truck. There's 2 trucks. One drives up. with a massive truck, and it's like an ambulance shape.
Right.
And they load people off one truck, the back of one truck, onto this ambulance type truck.
Right.
I think that's not what will happen in an emergency situation. They need to phone an ambulance, and you know.
Right.
And I just thought, well, the whole thing just doesn't seem legitimate to me.
So, but when you show that to your brother, does he still think it's a load of?
He won't look at it. He won't even look at it. He says, I can't watch anything over 2 minutes. I'm not bothered. He just watches Matt Hancock on the news.
Right. Okay. Good luck with that.
Well, that's what he does. You know, he has a good life. He has his wife and his dog, both lovely. And he just watches the news and he just gets on with his life. And he doesn't care about stuff like that.
Right. But it'd be interesting. So when do you expect to have this out so that people can have a read of it then?
Well, the book was going to be called
100 pages
of shite.
Right.
Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to start.
Everybody knew what it was anyway.
But anyway, I'm gonna. I'll send you the link, and it's going to be free to read and free to download.
Okay.
And it's going to be public. It's going to be written with tongue in cheek, so you can read this book as a conspiracy theorist, or you can read it as somebody who laughs at conspiracy theorists.
Right. Okay. So when will we be able to see it, and where will it be, Chris?
I'll let you know. I've got the chapter titles written. I've now got the title of the book.
Okay.
And I've got all the content in my head of the last 4 years of getting into conspiracy theories.
Right.
So I'll write it out.
And then let us know when it happens.
And I'll let you know, mate.
All right, no worries. Thank you very much, Chris. It's in his head, so it's only a matter of time. 0191 488 3188. And do not forget, a couple of people said, what's the name of the shop that got the signed copies of the book? It's The Back Page in Newcastle, and there's another one in the Metro Centre. So check them out if that is what you are fancying. Right, third and fourth clues coming. Corkin Superstar 2. Very briefly, got a batch of emails just piling in. David Bowater said, Alan, COVID is not going away, even with the supposed vaccine. And, we got... there it is, from an anonymous person. This is awful. Hi, Alan and team. Please keep me anonymous. I've had a terrible weekend due to the devastating news I received on Friday. A long-serving veteran and very close friend of mine and a brother to the parachute regiment sadly lost his battle with PTSD and took his own life. He finished night shift on Friday morning and wished his wife a good morning as she went to work, normal behaviour, but without any sign of concern. This was to be their final contact. His wife returned home from work around 15:30, only to find his car on the drive, but he was not home. She didn't suspect anything untoward, as he may have been Christmas shopping, but after phoning him, she found his mobile in the bedroom that raised concerns. Around 21:30, she contacted the police, and he was reported as a missing person and informed our various veteran alert sites. Myself and two other veterans spent the night searching local places where he may have been, but we couldn't find our missing brother, and sadly on Saturday morning we received the news from the police that we didn't want to hear. Heartbreakingly, he was found by a dog walker in a wooded area, and he'd taken his own life. This was completely out of character, as he was an unbelievably strong person. But today, we found out from police investigations that, God bless him, he's been fighting cancer for 10 months and nobody knew, not even his family. I am broken and devastated by this. I feel that I've left a fellow paratrooper down in his hour of need, and I wish I could find an answer to PTSD and a way to help. Our big problem is we're conditioned to help our fellow paras, but we're not conditioned to ask for help. How'd you get round that? Horrific. Let us move across to Chris, who's in Wallsend. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Alan. How you doing? All right?
I'm good, mate. What you got for us all?
It was just off the back of Ryan's call earlier on, talking about local talent. I wanted to talk about I've got three beautiful girls, four actually, I'm going to say, if we include a wife, but three beautiful girls. My eldest, my daughter, Kitty, she's 6 now, but a couple of years ago she contracted meningitis and sepsis. It was horrific. It was a bit dark. We nearly lost her, but she came out of the hospital. Cheers from the nurses, and literally a couple of days after, she ran the mini Great North Run, raised a good few £100 for the Meningitis Research Foundation. Obviously, fantastic charity.
Yeah.
Same, almost a year after, back in a hospital again, almost a year to the day, back in again, straight back out again, running for charity, incredible. And 2020, as we're fully aware, lockdown hit and coronavirus appeared. And Kitty, the eldest, and Phoebe, the other daughter, have got a rare immune deficiency, which is how she contracted it in the first place. So things hit them a lot harder. So we've spent best part of the year locked in all fairness, keeping away from everyone,
right?
Just being safe. And Kitty lost herself in her sketchbook.
Right.
Started drawing in her own little way these crazy characters that kind of explained what the virus was and what she'd done to keep herself busy. And she showed her granddad on Skype, and he said, you should jot it down and put it in a book. And she did. She's 6 now. She's written and published and drawn her own book called Kitty and the Virus. It sold over 400 copies worldwide.
Wow.
She's won an international award for it as well. Judges from Strictly and the cast of Hamilton all voted for it. Outright winner, won that Blue Peter badge for it. Incredible. Like an amazing little book.
She's 6-year-old, and she's got. I gather she's just about to launch a second one.
She's done it. It's out. She's fully aware that she refers to the RVI when she sees the room she stayed in. That's her room, and she's fully aware there's kids and there's people that don't get to see Santa over Christmas. So she wrote Kitty Saves Christmas, and released that as well. That's been out couple of weeks, 150 copies of it already. There's a chap you know actually, Rob Seals, the real Santa Claus from South Shields.
Right.
Incredible chap. He recorded it, him physically reading his book.
Great.
Reading Kitty's book, released it on YouTube for other kids to see and load up on their tablets, and almost a read along with Santa video. Which was incredible. And he's the Santa at the Red Fox Garden World, who have their big winter wonderland. And he arranged. We went last night for after hours, so there's no one around, so the girls are totally safe. Some of the staff stayed behind, all dressed in elf costumes, and just let Kitty and Phoebe and baby Nelly just have free roam of the winter wonderland and go and see Santa. He was sitting there at the end of it waiting for them, and she was like, "Dad, that's Santa. He's got my book." And just an incredible little child, and I thought she deserved a little shout out and a little bit of recognition for being 6 years old and releasing 2 books. And
you've created a monster. What's she going to be doing by the time she's 26? For heaven's sake?
Tell me about it. She doesn't stop, but she's already got characters and a story for her next one. But I said, slow down a little bit, just see how those ones goes. But yeah, she's sold copies in Australia, in Canada. She's had messages from schools on the other side of the world saying like, thank you for writing this book. It's helped kids in my class like explain and understand what's going on, and they're not alone. And she's just amazing. And I just wanted to share with everybody that give it a look. It's a couple of quid, both the books. I think £4 each. They're on Amazon. They're great little stocking fillers there.
So it's Kitty.
Let us know what you think.
It's Kitty Saunders, and it's Kitty Saves Christmas, and
you've got Kitty Saves Christmas,
Kitty and the Virus.
Kitty and the Virus. They're on Amazon. The read-along video is on YouTube. It's on I can't call him Robbie Santa. He's on Santa's Facebook page, The Real Santa Claus. It's got him reading it, so the kids can read along with Santa as well. She's amazing.
It's all good. A proud dad, and why the hell not? Thank you very much for coming on, mate. All the best.
Cheers, mate. You take care, Alan.
No worries. How about that Chris there? He's totally wrapped and 6-year-old. No wonder Christmas and, well, all year, if you've got children, is is quite something to contend with. How do you stop someone that's she's a machine? She's only 6. Well done, Kitty. Anyway, let's... Oh, he's back. It's Chris Cross. Hello, Chris.
It's Author's Hour, isn't it?
It seems to be the way, but it's your fault because you started it.
Well, long may it continue.
Absolutely. How's it going? Because it's out there now.
It's mint. There's a store selling it in the Metro Centre. I've got it in hand-picked gifts in the Metro Centre. I've got it in some of the local shops where I live, around Wrighton and High Spen and Bladen and stuff. It's good. It's selling well on the internet, and it's really flying.
Good news. Excellent.
So I'm pleased about that. The Geordie Santa. And it's lush, and I've heard that you really like the illustrations and you love the book that I sent you.
Absolutely. No, I've just been having a look. You sent the card as well. Appreciate that. Thank you, Chris.
That's all right. I hope you like the wit on it.
I did. Well, it rhymed with wit anyway.
But yeah, it's great. And actually, after being on the show last time, some of your listeners bought the book as well.
Great.
And I'm sure that they put a few lovely messages on your Night Owl's various Facebook groups, etc., praising it when they received it. So that was very kind. So thanks to your listeners for buying the book.
Is this the start of something that's going to continue? I hope it is.
Well, I was just having a chat with your right-hand man there on the phone, and I think I'm going to be doing an Easter book and a Halloween book and things like that.
Great, that's good.
You know, nice Geordie stories for occasions like these, you know?
Absolutely, and why not?
I mean, you're a writer yourself, Alan.
Just a bit.
Yeah. So, hey, happy days. This is all good, man. This is a creative station for the nation, isn't it?
Well, it just seems, though, that a lot of people, especially in the business, we've had a couple of guys on tonight that they can't get gigs, so they've been putting songs together for the net and Christmas tunes and what have you. You got to do something. I mean, you've been showing a lot of initiative with live drive-in events that are kicking down doors for other people are seeing them and thinking, well, blame me if Chris can do it. Why can't we get the band together and we'll have a go at it too?
Yeah. Hey, good luck. Honestly, I mean, it's we've got to diversify, and I'd much rather stick within this creative industry that I've chosen to be in, as opposed to just finding a completely different job and, you know, retraining and all of that malarkey. I'd much rather do what I signed up to do and what I enjoy, which is you know, being a bit creative, putting on a show and stuff like that. I mean, writing a book's a pretty creative thing, putting on these drive-in shows. And the thing with the drive-in show, it's brilliant, you know, because everyone's safe. They're all in their own cars. They can bring their own food and drink with them, and they can hear it all on their radio station, and they watch it all on the big screen. And I'm at the front there as well, and it's good. It's a way to get out. It's still safe, and it's still within the Tier 3 rules and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, for guys like you though, because being in front of an audience is literally what you do. And this is not just something that you've trained for, although of course you have. It's your life.
It's much more than a job. It's a passion and a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Right?
So when somebody says to you, like we've heard governments say, well, it's very sad that the entertainment industry is in the state that it's in, but these people should go out and find another job and retrain. When people say that, I mean, they patently don't know what it actually is like to be an artist because it's not just a job.
It's a lifestyle. It's a whole thing. You should see my house. My house has got magic written all over it. There's magic everywhere you turn. My car's full of magic. It's a complete lifestyle, and it's so sad. I've seen magicians who are friends of mine actually like listing their specially printed vans with their, you know, adverts and advertising, you know, book me, I'm a magician. They're, you know, the vans that are vinyl wrapped with their promotional material on. I've seen them sticking the vans on eBay and things like that, and it's so sad, you know. And they've become delivery drivers and all that. There's nothing wrong with that, but hey, I know that that's not what's going to make them happy. They want to be magicians, they want to be entertainers, and it's just. But you've got to pay the bills, haven't you?
No, absolutely. And yeah, what people fail to realise is that the people that are in the profession, and right at the very beginning, it takes years before you're even in profit, let alone making a good living from
and making
most
a
of
good
those
name
things.
for yourself. I mean, I've had some terrible down days during this whole thing because I learnt my first trick when I was 10. I was semi-pro at 13. I left school to do this game full-time at 16.
Yeah.
And I'm 31 now. So from learning my first trick 21 years ago, that's when I started my path on becoming Chris Cross, the great magician of the North. This globe-trotting entertainer who's been on television and entertained the celebrities and done loads of nice private bookings and weddings and all the rest of it as well. But I've created this character, this brand, this image, this business of Chris Cross, the magician. And all of that hard work and effort, and it feels like, since March, it feels like this baby that I've created and watched grow and helped along and, you know, made into an adult, if you like, has been like put into a coma since March.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, where's the other half of my life gone?
No, and there's many people like you.
I know.
And it's the same battle. You
I know,
get
it's
yourself
not just me.
noticed, and then there's no place to be noticed because you're sitting on your hands. It's been a shocking time.
It's rubbish. It really is. But hey, I'm thankful that something in my head works differently to some others, and I'm able to diversify and survive and still do things that I enjoy, that I'm proud of.
It'll all be back, Chris. It's coming back, man.
It's coming back, but I'm pleased that in the meantime, I'm on the ball enough to still be creative enough to pay my bills, to make a living, and, you know, it's okay. It's okay. It's not... I want to be out there gigging and doing shows and making the money that I'm used to making, but I'm still okay. I'm surviving. And I'm still doing things that I'm proud of, like this Geordie Santa book and putting on the country's first ever drive-in magic show.
Brilliant.
So, yes, and anyway, on the subject of the magic show, there's still tickets left for the 17th of December, which is this Thursday.
Right. Oh, blimey. So if anybody wants an absolute treat and to do something different and get yourself off your couch, you've got to get onto Chris's website and make sure you book those last few tickets.
That's it. It's you can get them on C Tickets. If you just Google Chris Crossmas, see what I did there? Chris Crossmas Drive-In Magic Show.
Right.
And you'll find the tickets on C Tickets. They're less than 30 quid, and if you've got a family of 5 in a car, it works out about £6, less than £6 each.
Brilliant.
So,
and everybody gets stuff given to them when they go in. They get their little...
That's it. You get a magic set on the way in. So what I'll be doing is like half an hour of magic tricks, performing and baffling the audiences. And there'll be cameras and all the sound will come through the radio, so you'll be nice and warm. It'll be safe in your cars. There's toilets on site, and they're very nice ones. And then I'll be teaching everybody how to do some magic tricks for half an hour. Fantastic. And they'll get all of the props that they need to sit in the car and learn the magic tricks along with me. Then I'll do a few more tricks, and then that's it. So that's this Thursday at Craig Park in Morpeth.
Right.
And it'll be mint. It's just a nice pre-Christmas treat, isn't it? And
it is, absolutely. And let's hope you get a full crowd there and make sure you honk your horns for Chris Cross. Chris, good talking to you. Love to the missus, and thank you very much for your book. I really appreciate it.
No problem. And if anybody else wants to buy the Geordie Santa, you can get it from the stores I named, or look me up on Facebook and send me a message, or go on my website. The £6.99, ideal for kids and big kids. And it's just a nice Geordie story about Jack the Geordie who meets Santa on Christmas Eve night.
Happy days. Good on you, Chris. Thanks again, man.
All the best, darling. Merry Christmas if I don't speak to you before then.
Absolutely. All the best to you and yours. Thank you. There's Chris Cross, top man. Let's have another superstar. Heather Small. People. Talking about success. You really must feel good about the success you had with Best Dance. You've got a Mercury Music Prize along the way. Blimey, you have succeeded in what you set out to do, which was essentially to carve your own niche out there.
Yeah, that in itself, you're right about carving our own niche as a band, as a singer, and but you don't sit down and think to yourself, oh, that's been a success, and that's been. I'd be honest with you. What people used to say to me, what do you want for the future? And I always say to be a better singer, and for me, that ultimately has been my success, and that people are still willing to come and see me and endorse me in that way, spend their money to see me sing live. That has been the success, because everything. I mean, awards and things like that. That doesn't pay the bills.
No, that's
or in the long term fulfill your soul. A body of work, having a body of work, and people acknowledging your work and your endeavours. That is ultimately the most rewarding.
No, absolutely, no argument about that. And yet, I'm talking about all of the things that you've done. You've appeared. You must have hit every country on earth over the years.
I've been to a few.
People are running out of places to hide from you, Heather.
That's not. I like it that way. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm sure that's wrong.
This is Night Owl
with Adam Robson.
Got something to say? Say it when the right people are listening.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Now, it's very few sleeps until Christmas, and this Christmas Eve on Greatest Hits Radio at 6 p.m, along with everybody in the patch, we're going to be ringing our bells to welcome Santa and Christmas 2020. It's something that the whole family can do, and the perfect way to look forward towards the end of what's been an unprecedented year. Do it in the house, on the doorstep, on your balcony. Ring your bells for Santa to help to create a special moment and a special memory, and do it with the whole country simultaneously, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and just make the bells ring. Join us for the Christmas Eve jingle on Greatest Hits Radio on Christmas Eve. Not many sleeps left, so you haven't got too long to wait. You've got a third and fourth clue coming for our competition to win the Grisly Tales from Northumbria and, of course, your Night Out mug. There you go. And don't forget, Criss Cross's book is also up for grabs tonight too. Clue number 1. What the armed forces have to do on approaching a senior officer. Second clue. What we wave if we're patriotic. The third clue in 15 minutes' time. So, let us dive across to DJ John, who I gather you've got some Christmas jokes, John.
Yeah, Alan, I've come on and make everybody smile, Alan, tonight.
Hooray!
Come on and make everybody happy for Christmas.
Come on, then.
Yeah. A man went to the doctors for swallowing a Christmas tree. He said, what have I got? He said, tinselitis.
Hey! Nice one.
A man was wearing one welt in case he gets a foot of snow.
Oh!
Santa Claus was digging my garden. He says, have you got a spade, DJ John? I says, ho, ho, ho.
Hey!
Have you got one for me, Alan?
Say again?
Have you got a joke for me, please?
Oh, a Christmas joke. I'm not sure that I have. No, I've not even thought of one. You got another one for us?
Santa Claus was in St. James's Park.
Uh-huh.
In the parking space.
Right.
I was lying down. He says, DJ John, what are you lying down there for? I says, Santa, parking space for you.
Hey! Nice one, John.
Alan, can I ask you something else?
Can you what?
Can I ask you something else? When I was raising money for the RBI hospital.
Yes.
With all that coronavirus and stuff like that, I've been to see the lad up there. What was helping me is when I was raising money in the shop.
Uh-huh.
And what happened? They keep got the collection buckets are still there in Tesco's in the town.
Right.
And what happens with the people at the hospital are going to get back in touch with the lad at Tesco's, and the lad's going to phone me so I can go up and get the cash, take it to the bank and change it into a check, and then we're both going to go up to the hospital and hand the check over.
Good man, that's great.
Yeah.
You never stop. DJ John, thank you for coming on and making us all smile. Good on you.
Thank you very much, Alan. Take care. Bye.
And you, bye-bye. There's DJ John. Some Christmas jokes. If you've got any similarly excruciating Christmas jokes, cracker gags really, do share. 01914 488 3188. Ideally funny ones though, if you can. But good job for DJ John. We're off to Kielder. If it's dark where you live, and in Scotland it's even darker, Kielder, pretty much the darkest place in our glorious north. Hello, Safi.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. Tell me what you've got for me tonight, then.
Right, so my favourite thing about Christmas is obviously the dinner. Dinners are just awesome, and it's even better when you don't have to cook it and you don't have to do any of the washing up.
Right. Yeah, what is your version of Christmas dinner? Is it just the meal, or do you have starters? Do you have
they do the whole whack, yeah. Starters.
So what is your starter, though, on a Christmas? I've never been
You know what?
sure.
I'm really awkward. Right, we always have prawn cocktail, but I don't like prawn cocktail sauce. So I just get plain prawns with cucumber.
Okay, right. Oh, that's a bit weird. Have you tried different types of prawn? There is a thing called cocktail sauce, and people put it on prawns. I think it's a bit bland. Have you ever tried making your own so it's a sauce you like?
No, I just have it plain.
Plain naked prawns in cucumber. Hey, if it works for you,
I don't really get a choice. It's made for us, but I'm happy about that as well.
So you mean is it? I presume we're talking turkey here for your
normally turkey.
And afterwards, it's your standard Christmas pud, or do you have different types of puddings?
I don't like Christmas pudding either.
I don't either. I really dislike Christmas pudding. So what do you have then?
Oh, God, it changes each year with the pudding, really. They just go a bit adventurous, see what you pick up in the shops. So, there's always a bit of ice cream on the go.
Right. Because I know some people, you had trifle this year, and there's no reason why you can't have whatever you want, I suppose.
Oh, I just like the big plate dinner, though, the main course that you get.
Yeah, and it's probably the only meal across the year, because you can have roast beef anytime. You can get a packet of roast beef and just heat it up. There's any number of things you can have, like pork or a chicken. But at Christmas, there's always spare food. There's always more potatoes. There's always more sprouts. There's
always a good chicken curry going on Boxing Day, or turkey curry going on Boxing Day.
Absolutely. And turkey sandwiches. And turkey everything. It does kind of go on forever. Do you get a proper bird, or do you just do that thing, I'm just getting a turkey crown this year, which is essentially just lop its breast off?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's a bird, yeah. I remember one year we got my dad one of the electric carvers.
Oh, blimey. That is posh. Blimey. You must live in a castle in Kielder, Safi.
Oh, God, no.
So what was the worst present you've ever had then, Saf?
Well, it's not so much like a worst present sort of thing, but my birthday is in between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, no.
So it's normally like, in terms of like, that puts a bit of a downer on the whole Christmas thing, because everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's your birthday. And I'm like, oh, yeah, but you're all skint or busy or with family. That's pretty much my Christmas downer. But
do you not get that thing where they say, I've bought you a present, but it's for both?
Yeah.
What a cop-out that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So your birthday is in June, but I've got you a Christmas present. It's for both. You would never say that. Never in 100 years. But if it's within Christmas and New Year, everybody's gearing up for New Year or just coming down from Christmas. It's a miserable... You should do what the Queen does and say, my official birthday is in between Christmas and New Year, but my actual birthday is June the 31st.
Yeah, definitely, middle of summer.
That's what I should definitely think about doing that, because it'd be certainly more fun. And people don't know. After 2 or 3 years, they'd be thinking your birthday is in June.
That's a brilliant idea. Definitely, maybe.
So what about your bestie present?
Oh, I was probably about 12 years old.
Right.
And I got a new bike. And it was like, at the time, the most amazing thing ever.
What kind of bike was it? Was it one of the what did they call the big city up ones? I can't even remember the name.
No, it was a mountain bike.
It was a mountain bike? Yeah. Wow, my goodness.
And you know what? I never looked back. Ever since I got a job, I cycled to work. And then when I first started, going on my own holidays, I would always come up here camping to Kielder before I moved here. And I'd go mountain biking. And so it kind of, that first, that best Christmas present set up quite a bit of it for me, yeah. Started a lifelong passion.
That's good. Hey, great stuff. Anything else in Saf?
No, that was it. Just thought I'd let you know about the dinner and the birthday.
You already make me hungry. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan.
Cheers, Alan.
Good
Take
night.
it easy. Bye-bye. Safi there in Kielder with the best and the worst. Pretty good if a Christmas gift can be the gift that keeps on giving year by year by year. Hence, Ali's ideal gift for Christmas. This actually has legs, this one. Evening, Alan. I thought I'd share this with you. It's an idea that I saw, and I thought it would be good to share with the night owls who are looking for a little gift to give for Christmas. I've made one for all of my friends and neighbours as a gift. It's a thing called a gratitude jar. You get a jar, fill it with wrapped sweets, and you put a little note in it saying, I'm so grateful for your friendship. Please enjoy the sweets in this jar. They've been given to you with love. When your jar is empty, collect your spare coins in it until it's full. When it's full, donate the money you've collected to your favourite charity or buy a friend a special gift to make them smile. Then refill your jar with sweets and put a note in it explaining everything and pass the jar on to another friend so they can spread an attitude of gratitude. as well as by doing this and showing your friends some love, and they can pass that love on. It's a special little gift that doesn't cost much and can be given with love to somebody special or just a neighbour or a work colleague. Big love, Ali. How good. I do think that's the business. Gotta have another quick break in a second, but not until we've heard a track from T-Rex.
This is Night Owl
with Adam Robson.
Got something to say? Say it when the right people are listening.
Alan Robson's Night Owls.
The phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest Hits Radio.
So it's time for your third clue that could win you the Grisly Tales from Northumbria and the mug, the Night Owls mug. So if you want those two prizes, have you worked out the name of the hit yet? Keep it to yourself. The fewer people that know, the better the chance that you will be winning. First clue, what the armed forces have to do on approaching a senior officer. Second clue, what we wave if we're patriotic. What we wave if we are patriotic. Okay. Third clue, a type of racing or men dressed like women are in this. Okay. A type of racing or men dressed like women are in this. You've got 3 words now. Can you name the song? Wait till you hear the fourth clue, and that will be in about 20 minutes. And then ring Chris with your answer. If you are geet clever as oot, that is what we have to hope for. Right, let's get to those phones. Paul from Gateshead is up next. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
Good, man. Thank you for calling. What do you want to talk about tonight?
I just want to first off just say it's been great to hear some of the charitable sort of discussions on the other night, because there's always someone who's worse off than yourself. I think.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I think in a year where it's hit charities hard, I think many are collecting for causes that's close to the heart. So it's well received.
All the things that charities do usually involve face-to-face stuff. A charity coffee morning, a charity. A ramble, a run, and all of those things instantly were ruled out right from the start. So a lot of them are on like 5% of what they would have had across a year. It's scary.
Yeah. And I think it is. I think it has definitely hit some of the charities themselves. I mean, the main reason for me obviously ringing is that we also run an outdoor Christmas display for Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh, brilliant! That's good. Whereabouts are you?
We're in Pelo in Gateshead.
Right.
So yeah, it's Gosforth Terrace.
Hang on, your email has just flashed in front of my face. Gosforth Terrace, Pelo. If you're looking for a postcode to have a drive round, NE10 0YL.
That's the one. Yeah.
So, and if people want to see it, you've got a Just Giving page as well. I noticed.
Yeah, we've got a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/then the postcode.
Right.
And then we've got, all the information's on there, so it'll give you links for the Just Giving page and everything on there as well.
So hang on, let's give them that again. If you want to check out the lights and stuff, and if you have got anything you can spare, NE10 0YL. The temptation is to put an O there, but it's not right. It's a 0YL, NE10 0YL, and that's the Facebook, which will link to the Just Giving page. This is something you're not just doing this year. What got you involved with supporting that particular charity then?
Well, to be fair, I think for me, Christmas is obviously a time to be with family and friends. I cherish obviously what's in front of me, and even more so now after losing my dad to bad health last year.
Right.
I'm very lucky to have a great supportive wife and 2 young kids. And I look at them every day and I think how lucky I am. There's other children's stories I hear about, where they've got life-threatening illnesses and conditions, and it puts a spin on things, for me.
Sure.
And I think, the charity's objective is, it's there to create like a memorable wish experience for both the child and the family.
Sure.
Just so that it's not clouded by financial concerns, and in some cases, it could be their last wish to be doing something together. So it's heartbreaking. But it helps families in need, and it works to bring them hope and strength and joy back straight in the lives of families who could be affected by this.
It's a lovely thing, but mind you, I gather you're actually in competition with other radio stations, because you've got your own radio station and a virtual Santa. Explain both of those things.
Well, our display, our display is it's named as the Christmas House in Pelo, by all the kids that are just round the corner up at St Albans and Pelo. Our display, it has typically 60 plus rope lights. It's got outdoor music. It has got a projector. So obviously we have a virtual Santa that's in the window,
right?
Coming to say hello to the kids and things like that.
Uh-huh.
We have other Christmas content that runs through that window throughout Christmas as well.
Right.
But we've also got the FM transmitter as well, which, yes, we do obviously run our own Christmas music and everything through that as well. And it's a great way.
So what that means is, if you're driving along, you can actually tune into a frequency and get your Christmas tunes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, for
Brilliant.
example, like at the minute, the weather's not that particularly great. People don't particularly want to do, stand outside as well because of the social distance and things. So they might just want to stay in their cars. If they tune in their radios into 88.0.FM, they'll hear everything that's coming through the house, basically.
But presumably they're going to have to be pretty damn close to your house to be able to pick that up.
You can pretty much hear it from one end of the street, so
To the other,
it's a pretty decent transmitter.
That's good on you. Hey, well done, and continued success. I just love the fact that people are doing stuff, because everybody else is being told, don't do this, don't go there, don't meet your friends, don't. So the fact that you're doing makes all the difference. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's a quite a difficult display, because I mean, it takes us approximately me and my father-in-law. We do this, every year. We've been doing it for about 7 years now.
Great.
And it takes us approximately about 4 days solid, which is about 7 hours a day.
Right.
About 4 days to get this, get it sorted out and get it up and running.
That's a commitment right there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've had a bit more time this year due to being furloughed. I've been furloughed for like 8 months, and then I was made redundant. So it has been difficult, without itself. But the show must go on, and I've had to buy new lights to, to replace old lights that have gone off and things like that. And but it brings happiness and cheer into the community in that as well.
To be honest, when you see. You can drive along streets and you don't even see a Christmas light in a window.
Yeah.
Let alone stuff in a garden. So when we come across anything like the stuff that you've got there, it's a blessing, man. It lifts your spirits, and that's exactly what we could do at this time of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, without a doubt. But what I was going to say was as well, just obviously you were talking about like Christmas presents and things like that.
Sure.
I mean, my favourite Christmas present as a kid was a Commodore Amiga home computer. It was something that my dad got me back in 1989 as a kid.
Right.
And it was very expensive. It was probably about 500 quid at the time when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I never knew I had a machine that was so good for its time. It got us involved with, it wasn't just the games, but, I'd learned to do numerous things on that computer.
Right.
And it's something that's got a massive following even today. So it's got me involved with, computers helping us get through jobs, whether it be working with them, selling them. It's helped us, like, obviously worked on outside projects as well. That's involved, like, things like crowd raising funds, tobacco projects. One, which was a documentary I was involved with, that I'm credited for on IMDb.
Great.
And it's also, opened other doors as well. So, I'm arranging an event which is based on this computer, and it's got a big following, and I've got people who are, coming across from the States, Germany, and all them sort of countries, people who have worked on this computer,
No, it's one of those things. We've had a few shows, where you get all the old tech back out, and people go crazy for it. And the Atari is one of those that gets people really as excited as when it first came out, because I think it was one of the foundations that led to gaming being what it is today. If it hadn't been for machines like that back in the day.
Exactly, yeah. So, it's something that's, still part of my life, really, if anything, and it's, I've still got one that's sitting here in front of us. So, yeah, it's, after all these years, it's like 36 years or so.
Fantastic. Hey, but you see, we're talking about a gift that keeps on giving. How many toys, and you'll know this being a parent yourself, you buy a toy, it does about 3 or 4 hours on Christmas Day, and then you never see it again.
Yeah.
And not like your Atari 36 years later. That's a proper present right there. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Good stuff, Paul. Thank you very much for what you're doing for Make-A-Wish. I hope you make an absolute fortune there.
All right. Thanks, Alan.
Thanks, mate. Bye-bye. Nice stuff. And you've got the postcode. Check it out if you possibly can. Now, we got Stacey from Waka. Hello, Stacey.
Hi, Alan. You all right?
I am, as long as you are. How are you doing?
Has Chris talked to you?
No.
I've had a few rough days.
What's happened?
Really rough. My mum's not very well.
Right. I'm sorry.
She's in hospital.
What's wrong?
Well, about 2 years ago, you know the West Road where the General Hospital is.
Yeah, of course.
Well, she collapsed there, you see, and she didn't think anything of it.
Right.
So she just carried on. She was normal after that. Now, Wednesday, she had a fall.
Right.
Now, my mum's only just turned 50, you know, and she's quite fit. So there's no reason why she should fall over or collapse. But she's lost a lot of weight lately.
Right.
Obviously, we never thought anything of it.
Right.
So Wednesday, she had fallen over. She says she had just missed the curb. So she hurt her knees and hurt her hands, you know.
Right.
And I was so worried. And then Thursday, she woke up and she was, like, really ill. Like, she had pains, like, in her groin, her left side.
Oh, not good.
And it was so agonising. Like, my mum's so stubborn. She never ever cries. She never asks for help, anything like that.
So she'll absolutely hate being in hospital.
She did, as soon as she was there, she wanted to come home.
No, I bet. Have they found out what's causing all of that?
No, yesterday, she didn't go to hospital on Thursday, you see. It was Friday morning.
Right.
Saturday. Was it Friday or Saturday? Friday morning when she went in.
Right.
So she suffered all day Thursday. Friday during the night, like Thursday night into Friday.
Yeah.
She collapsed again. She wasn't keeping any food or fluids down at all. She was hot and sweaty and getting a temperature. Well, automatically, because she's a key worker, you automatically thought, well, or COVID or anything like that. So the doctor come out, like, I persuaded her to phone the hour's doctor. And he come out and he's like, well, there's nothing really I can pick up at the moment, like no infections or symptoms of COVID.
Right. Which is a good thing, but it still doesn't tell you what the hell's going on with her.
So I persuaded her to go to, say I couldn't go with her or anything like that because obviously of the leukemia.
Sure.
And you can't go to hospital with people now.
No, that's true. So what happened? Have you heard back?
Well, she got admitted on the Friday morning. They done CT scans, they done bloods. They found a lump on her ovaries.
Oh, blimey.
And it was suspected cancerous first. And that's all I needed, Alan, to be honest, because I've got leukemia this year. We didn't need her to have cancer as well.
No.
So they've done more tests, and it turns out she's got a 15-centimetre cyst.
Cyst. Oh, that's a C word we can cope with, though, cyst. So what are they going to do with it?
So they want to do, because her blood levels will keep going up for infections.
Right.
Like, and she still wasn't eating or drinking. Now they put on IV antibiotics, so then she can eat, and they've given her fluid.
She'll start building up her strength now. Then that's something. But what they doing with the cyst?
They're doing bloods every 2 hours to 4 hours, and they're still raising. So they put her on an emergency surgery list.
Right.
So they want to do it like tomorrow, like technically Monday, or the next few days.
Yeah.
But they say what they can do is take it off. Where then it could come back because of her age, or they can just give her a full hysterectomy. Like, because now she's had her kids.
Yeah. What does she want to do, though? Has she made a decision?
I think she just wants it over and done with, to be honest.
So that's a hysterectomy then, because my mother had the same kind of thing. She had a cyst and she had a hysterectomy, and that was the end of the problem. Gone.
But she's been in the hospital, and she was there half an hour, and she just wanted to come home.
Well, she'll be in a bit more than half an hour if she has a hysterectomy. Back in the day, they used to say it's taking everything away, if you know what I mean. And
that's the thing now. They say to her that it probably will be a hysterectomy because it's better in the long run when they don't need to operate again in the future.
Yeah, and she's done. And
then she's done.
She's over and done with. She doesn't have to keep going back and forth.
But what she's concerned about now is because she's working, she doesn't want to not work. And like she goes to see my brother, you see.
Yeah, but if she has the operation, as soon as she's well again, she'll be able to go back to work, won't she? Or will that be the end of her working life if she misses the time? I mean, what's she most concerned about?
I think it's missing the time. She thinks they're just going to
pick somebody else
off, you know.
Hey, it's a fair risk, but does she want to be well for the rest of her days, or does she always want to be waiting? Has the cyst come back again? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Then she thinks there's a problem in hospital. She thinks there's putting onto the NHS. And the nurse has told us so many times, you're here because you need to be here medically.
Yeah.
We can't allow you to go home and something happen.
And if she's been a grafter, she's paid a whack. This is when she gets a bit of a whack back, and she's paid for it. It's not that they're just gonna taken from other patients. You're getting a little bit of what you put in. That's all.
She's got no energy or anything, Alan, because of the eating. She must have aged about 40 overnight.
Hey, she'll turn that around now that she's able to eat again. She'll start to build up, and she'll feel stronger.
Now, I risked it yesterday because I had to take clothes up for her.
Right.
Up to the hospital. I didn't mind, obviously. And I says, Mum, I'm going to, I'm not a confident person, but I was annoyed because she wasn't saying anything. No. She was sitting there in pain. And I says, when I left the ward, I had a word with the nurse, and I said she's quite stubborn, and she's sitting there in agony because, she's only got paracetamol.
Yeah.
I says, and she's not going to say anything to you.
I don't know what it is about parents, but my dad was the same way. He would be sick as a dog, but you wouldn't know, and they wouldn't say anything. And it was only when it actually gets beyond their control, and I'm going to have to go to say that I'm going to have to. And there's, yourself that there's people that first sniff and they're at the doctors, but people of our parents' generation just seem to be built of stronger stuff.
Alan, she's now been in hospital for over 14 years. The last time she was in hospital, she had my brother.
Yeah, there you go. That tells you everything. Tells you everything. Well, give her me love next time you go upstairs, or if you talk to her on the phone, I'm sure you will be.
Also, just another couple of things.
Yes, love.
The best thing about Christmas.
Yes, what do you think it is?
I haven't really had a lot of good Christmas presents because I just appreciate everything I've got.
That's a good answer.
Especially this year.
Yeah.
But the best thing I liked about Christmas is seeing my brothers and sister open their presents.
Yeah.
Because they get so excited,
Yeah, no, absolutely. A lot of people say it's all about the kids.
And the worst thing about Christmas is this year not being able to see family. I know you can technically, but I can't risk that.
Yeah, but also, if your mum's operated on within the next couple of days, did they tell you whether she'd be out for Christmas or not?
They've given no idea of how long it'll take her to recover.
Right.
Nobody in our family has had a hysterectomy.
Well, my mum was in 3-4 days, and then she was allowed to go home, but to recuperate, not to do the Christmas dinner or anything, if you know what I mean, but to be able to be at home and in bed. So. And
they're not even doing a keyhole either. They have to cut it open.
Yeah, they did with my mum too.
And another thing, I spoke to your friend a couple of weeks back. Kenny D.
Yes.
I had bought some cups off Facebook of him.
All right.
I think it was for the Metro Radio charity.
Yes,
Cash for Kids. It was for that he was selling them for.
Oh, that's nice. Well, that was good of you. Thank you very much.
He says, wait till I see Alan. When you speak to Alan, tell me you've seen it.
Yeah, hey, absolutely. He's a good man. Thanks for coming on, Stace.
Right, have a good Christmas if I don't speak to you before then.
Absolutely. Love to your mum too. Thanks again, love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Joy has just sent this. Wish my mum in Cramlington all the best for Christmas. I'm stuck down south. I can't get back up with all the COVID stuff. Many thanks. All the best. Joy, who's in Peterborough with his beanie hat on. There you go. So all the best. Thank you, Joy. Let's crack on. We have James from the Wirral. Hello, James.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm very well. What are you talking about?
Well, there's been an update since I last spoke to you. There's a bit of extra information about this COVID-19 and how it affects the body. Now, I'm not medically trained, but I heard an interesting item. It was actually on BBC News.
Okay.
It was on. I found the article. I'll send it over to you if you like.
Just tell me.
What it is that the gene. Everybody has a gene called TYK2.
Right.
I think it is.
Okay.
And that switches on the immune system basically if you can become unwell.
Right.
But some people might have COVID-19 and not know anything about it. Others will be very, very seriously ill.
Right.
But the difference is, if you have with this, everybody has this gene, But if it's faulty, the immune system goes into overdrive and makes you seriously ill. So that's why people get it in different levels, it would appear. There's other things as well, not just that. That was one of them. I haven't actually looked at the article yet, but it's quite interesting.
Right.
I would hope, by the way, that over Christmas, luckily I live on my own, but unluckily I don't tend to see my family very often. I'd like to see somebody over Christmas, but it's very risky. Having said that, given that I live on my own, I'm less likely to pick up the virus anyway. If I think you're in tier 3, aren't you, up there? Is that right?
We are at the minute, yes.
Yeah. Well, we're in tier 2, so our restaurants and pubs are open you can go to have a meal indoors.
Right.
You can have, it's what was tier 3 last time for hospitality. What concerns me, over Christmas, a lot of places offer Christmas dinner in the restaurants, yeah?
Yes.
Apparently, this 5-day thing that's coming in on the 23rd of December apparently I was told it does not relate to the hospitality sector. It only relates to domestic, not commercial premises. In other words, you can meet three households indoors, but you're not allowed to do that
in a restaurant.
A restaurant.
It's got to be your own domestic bubble in a restaurant.
Correct.
I think. Right.
Well, I'm not sure whether restaurants can open on Christmas Day in Tier 3. I'm not certain about that. I don't think so. I'm not certain. I've tried to find out, but nobody seems to know the answer.
Right.
So it's complicated. Some other piece of bad news I found out locally for us. It's nothing to do with the virus. Well, it could be partly related. I've got a bombshell. I do a lot of swimming. I may have mentioned this before.
You have indeed.
But our local swimming pool, they leaked it out on a Friday night in a list of agenda for a local cabinet meeting, and it mentions the closure of the pool, and the staff were only told yesterday.
Now you did a lot of swimming, but not in pools. You've done a lot of
outdoors, yes.
Outdoor free-water swimming.
At this time of year, the water's about 7 degrees centigrade, so it's not possible. I managed it on the 23rd of November, I think it was, which is the latest I've ever swum in the year.
Yeah.
And that was only for a couple of minutes. The temperature was 8.5 centigrade.
And I would imagine your testicles shrank to the size of raisins.
Oh, but it's amazing. If you can manage it, you shouldn't do it for too long. Only a couple of minutes will still wake your body up.
Yes, I can believe that.
If it's around about 11 or 12, it's not too bad. And then if it's in the summer, it can get up to 16 or 17 degrees, and that's fine. It's comfortable then. Right. But in the winter, it's almost impossible. I will miss our pool if it does close.
It's awful because they closed down a few pools around the northeast, and the reality is, if your local pool closes down, and the big one in Newcastle City Centre closed down, and as soon as the pools closed down, the people that were used to maybe travelling half a mile, 2 miles, or even getting a bus into the city centre or driving into the city centre, they don't say, well, I'll drive to a different pool somewhere else. They just stop swimming, and it's wrong. But that seems to be what happens.
I don't know how many you have in Newcastle. Do you only have one pool though?
No, we've got health centres that have got
exactly.
Sports centres and stuff kicking around the place. But that was the big one.
We have 6, mainly only even a small area, but that's because the Wirral comprises of 5 former smaller councils, which each had a pool. plus the sixth one, which is called Europa, which is the one that's about to close. Apparently, it's not confirmed yet, but basically we have 6 pools, but we've only got 2 now if you take out the one that's about to close, because the other 3 are being used for COVID-19 related stuff, like PPE stores and things like that. So we're going to be left with 2 pools for 300,000 people. Is hardly good enough. It's not enough.
No, it's not.
So and a lot of clubs operate. We have some small clubs. We have one metro club here, but virtually everybody has they're going to have a problem because all the swimming lessons, everything that operates out of our pool will
well,
not
used to be
happen.
schools and stuff taking their classes at the local pools as well.
Oh, it happens. It still happens, but everything's spaced out. So you're in our area, we're only allowed to go once a day per person.
Right.
To enable as many people as possible to go.
Yeah.
And it's 18 max in each session, which is 45 minutes, and then that's all you get now.
It'll all come back round, but it's just in the meantime, what a pain in the backside.
I mean, the vaccine that's coming up, I'm not eligible for it, but I am 50 next Monday. So a week today, this time next week, it'll be my birthday.
Right, well, happy birthday for that.
I won't indeed, thank you. I won't be able to celebrate it because it's before the extra window and all the rest of it.
Sure.
I'll have to do it on my own and go out and have a meal for my birthday. But the vaccine that's coming up, the idea is going to be they're going to try and get the vulnerable people vaccinated by Easter.
Yeah.
So after that, there might be... But I reckon because of this Christmas window, we might get another wave in January, in which case we might have another lockdown. I hope not, but some people think that's going to happen. I sincerely hope it doesn't.
I think they've already made their mind up, but I'm cynical. Anyway, James, thank you,
everybody.
Thank you very much, and
Merry Christmas
and happy birthday. I wish you well, friend.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks,
Thank you.
man. Take care. Bye bye. What a shame. And there's an awful lot of people spending, special occasions completely on their Todd. It's a damn shame. Right. 4th clue now, so you can start ringing Chris if you're a genius. The first clue, what the armed forces have to do on approaching a senior officer. 2nd clue, what we wave if we're patriotic. 3rd clue, a type of racing or men dressed like women are in it. And the 4th clue, Donna sang I Feel Love and Love to Love Your Baby. She did a lot, actually. Love's Unkind, Dim All the Lights, Last Dance. Donna sang I Feel Love and Love to Love Your Baby. What's her surname? You've got 4 clues from a very, very famous greatest hit. Name it if you can. Chris is waiting for you on 0191 488 3188. Give him a call right now if you are Keith Clever as Oot. Meanwhile, we have Jules, who is in Hemlington. Hello, Jules.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, love. What are you talking about tonight?
Christmas.
Right, do tell.
Well, with everything that's going on at the moment, we're going to be spending Christmas at home.
Right.
But I'm not so bothered about, like presents or anything like that. I'm more bothered about wanting my dad to be home from hospital by Christmas.
Oh, it'd be lovely if he was.
Because he's been in, I think I've mentioned it to you last time.
You did, yes.
About 6 weeks he's been in hospital.
Is he likely to be back for then? I mean, have they given you any hope?
Well, not officially, no, but he's making progress. He's starting to move about and where he wasn't before.
Right.
So we don't know. It's like all up in the air.
Dear me.
Yeah. So
what a class. I mean, have you been able to talk? Is he up to talking to you with, like, video telephone?
Yeah.
So you can see him and he can see you, because that's something.
Yeah, so we're in contact every day by telephone, and then one of the nurses, about 6 o'clock on the night, arranges the laptop for him to see.
Ah, it's great. That is good.
It had to be through my son's phone because my phone's not compatible.
Right.
But we managed to see him that way, yeah.
That's good. So, I mean, he's feeling better. He's getting stronger. It's took a time, mind, hasn't it?
Yeah, 6 weeks, yeah.
6 weeks is long enough, blimey. We want him home as soon as possible, but only when it's safe.
Yeah, I mean,
Only when it's safe.
if he is home, like, we wouldn't be able to be together anyway because of the situation.
No. So maybe he's in the right place. Who knows? It's not knowing, because then you can't plan for either side, if you know what I mean.
No. What my mum was saying, like, she was going to send us a dinner on Christmas Day, and I said no, because I'm quite independent. I mean, I've got a son who's autistic.
Right.
And I like to do things myself, but she said, no, we'll send you a dinner and...
Take a dinner and enjoy somebody else's gravy. There's nothing wrong with that. No, snatch the hand off.
Normally, we spend time as a family, but like with the situation that we're in, our mum said she's more concerned about mine and my son's health.
Sure, and the fact that she's going to cook a big dinner and she would have had you round her table if she had the chance.
Yeah.
She can't do that, so she's going to put a bit of silver paper over it, and it's
then
for you.
People will come and drop it off.
That's
bless them.
Hey, no, it's a nice thing, because it's just somebody finding a way to be able to show you how much they love you. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, we are a close family, like, and that what affects me mentally is I couldn't do anything to help, apart from sort out all the hospital stuff through the carers group that I'm involved in, which they've been really great.
No, that's enough, though. You know, people do what they can do, and if you can't do it, somebody else slots in, and that's what families are about.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he's home soon, love, and but only when it's best.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway,
Only when it's best.
It's been a worry.
Absolutely.
And also, getting on to Christmas, it's my birthday next Sunday.
Oh, what? 4 days before Christmas?
Yeah, and the thing is about Christmas, like, we have to, myself and my son, his birthday's on the 11th, on Friday. So we have, like, a full year to wait for presents.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, because most people, the birthdays and special events across the year. December's it for your family, by the sound of
and
things.
I've got an elder brother who's 60 on Boxing Day.
Hell's teeth! Do your family only have a sexual ritual once a year?
That's what I said to my
I'm
parents.
guessing I bet they have a fairly frisky march by the sound of things. Wow.
Including myself when I had my son.
It goes down the family. It's coming up to March. Get ready. Yeah, well, good luck. Thank you for calling, Jules.
Thank you, Alan. All the best.
And you, darling. Bye-bye. Oh, what a shame. So many people got, it's not just COVID. It's people are dealing with. They got a whole host of things. And keep your calls going in if you can answer our puzzle tonight. What the armed forces have to do on approaching a senior officer. What we wave if we're patriotic. A type of racing are men dressed like women are in it. And the fourth clue, Donna sang I Feel Love and Love to Love You Baby. And all that kind of stuff. So, 4 clues. What's the song? Greatest hit. If you could name it, it would be good. Carol is with us and she's in Felling. Hello, Carol.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, love. What are you talking about tonight?
The best live show I've ever seen.
Oh, what was that?
Tina Turner.
Yeah, she's good.
Gateshead Stadium.
Yeah.
I've seen that twice.
Right, now I hosted both the gigs. She was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I bet you were singing the whole way through. It's funny, it's only when you see her live you realise just how many hits you had.
Yeah, but the thing is, Alan, she sounds exactly the same as our...
As our records.
Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. And she doesn't half work for it too, doesn't she? Because, I mean...
I wish I could shimmy like she does.
And, I mean, when she was doing Gateshead, she was a decent age. You know, she was a decent age, but she was still chucking it about. No, it's fantastic. Simply the best.
Saxophones in the back.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
Great show.
I've seen the worst one at Gateshead, where I'll start with It wasn't Joe Cocker.
Right.
He sang Living in the Past. I don't know if he was there.
I was, yes.
And then Status Quo.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, great.
And who was the top band? If you were there.
Wasn't Rod Stewart.
It was.
It was Rod Stewart.
He's the worst I've ever seen on bloody stage.
What was so wrong with it? I was there. I thought it was all right. What did you think was wrong with it?
He's a terrible performer.
Right.
To me, he kicks footballs out just to get rid. But I had to go because my friend liked Rod Stewart.
Sure.
And she had come to see Tina Turner, who she loved.
And to be honest, with Joe Cocker's great, Status Quo are fabulous, so you're getting a decent bit of entertainment. I would have thought I was there till about 9:10 because I was on air and I had to get back to do the Night Owls programme at 10 o'clock. But I was there right the way through the afternoon. The dancers and I were on right at the very beginning, welcoming everybody into the stadium. But no, I'm really surprised because the bit that I heard sounded pretty good, but I was hearing it rather than seeing it.
Yeah, well, that's my opinion.
Not happy. No, it's fair enough. Hey, well, thank you very much, Carol.
I'm not finished.
Well, give us some more then. What else do you want to talk about?
I was working at the Newcastle Arena.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Ground Crew.
Right,
I was starting this Ground Crew.
Uh-huh.
Where you're supposed to keep your back to the stage and keep an eye on the audience.
Right.
Well, who can resist watching Robbie Williams on stage?
Yeah, that's a tough call.
So I used to keep swivelling round, watching Robbie.
Uh-huh.
I've seen him a few times because I worked there, so I see him for free.
Right, great.
Another good one was the Lighthouse family.
Ah, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the boys. They're brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else, Alan?
As the lady said earlier, the best family Christmas you can have is your family.
Yeah. What are you going to be doing this year then? Because it's not going to be possible, I guess. Not extended family anywhere.
No, extended.
Yeah, you bringing family down to share it with you or not?
No, because there's too many.
Right. So
that lady said earlier, how do you decide? I had 3 boys.
Right.
And between them, they've had 7 children.
Oh, blimey. So you'd be lucky to get away with one side of the family, let alone 3.
No, so you can't invite one without the other.
Yeah. Snookered.
But the worst part of Christmas was the bloody washing up.
Right.
See, sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
It's all right. No, but it's true because you're making so much food. Absolutely. So
the starters, the main, and then we started the turkey off.
So hang on, what's your starter though? We were hearing about prawn cocktails before.
Yeah.
Is that what you go for as well?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's a canny way to go. Can't argue with that.
Nice prawn cocktail with the
Mary Rose sauce. Sass on.
No, seafood sauce.
Seafood sauce. It's same kind of idea.
No, well.
Hey, no worries.
Yeah.
Going to move on, Carol, but thank you for coming on.
They used to take 2 days to do all the washing up after them. Because they would say, oh, thanks, ma'am, for the dinner. It was lovely that they'd all go in the sitting room.
And just leave it all there. Stewing in the sink. Yeah, lazy note. Hey.
Aye. Sitting, drinking and playing on the
computers.
Wii thing.
Yeah.
Nearly smashing the lampshades down, trying with these bloody Wii things.
I bet you had a go. Come on.
I did.
There you go. I knew you would. Carol, I'm moving, but thank you for calling. There's Carol from Felling, having a wee. And 4 clues, your chance. Get in there. Quick track and a quick break, and we will be back in about 4 minutes, but not until you'd heard some Bob Marley.
This is Night Owls
with Adam Robson.
Got something to say? Say it when the right people are listening.